It's like riding a bike.
Right.
We made it. This is, I forgot to change the name of the episode. This is episode 150, the NBA Finals preview.
Yes. We already know who's in the finals.
Happy podcast Easter to all that celebrate as we have officially risen. In fact, almost the 3-year anniversary of the day that we put out our first episode, we are back.
3 years. I can't believe it. You told me that.
It was an amazing coincidence too, because you texted me the other day like, when are we going to come back? I'm like, oh, I'm good when you are. And just out of curiosity, because one of the things we're doing today is something we did on like our second or third episode.
Yeah.
I went back and I scrolled all the way back on the podcast app to see what the date was on the first episode, and it was, I think, August 28th. I think it was August 26th. Okay. So when you August 27th, because when you texted me, it was the day that our birthday hit, I guess.
So we started this journey.
And we are back. It's August 29th. Or for those watching potentially on Friday, it's August 30th as far as you're concerned. We have a lot has changed. Trey Turner flying out in a 3-1 count is not too different from what was happening when we stopped.
Right, you mentioned that. And you also mentioned when we first started this journey, I think the one that never made the air, NOLA. Yeah,
it was like a pilot episode that was kind of a test run. It probably had more energy than the actual first episode. It was Nola. I think it was the first time Nola had ever faced his brother because they were playing the Padres.
Yes.
I think it was the first time. They were playing the Padres.
Uh-huh.
And I think he had either a no-hitter or a perfect game into like the 7th or 8th inning, and they wound up losing the game. And we jumped on right after, and we thought, this is probably a bad omen.
Right.
And lo and behold, right as we were going to start, Matt Olson hits a ball into Ryan Howard territory. So,
dude, right into the flower bed over the center field.
Can only go up from here. I mean, they're probably going to lose anyway, but can only go up from here. Happy Taiwan Walker to the bullpen day, by the way.
Is
wow.
he? Oh.
That's
good hustle.
That would have sucked if Arcia had just...
Hoppa. So Taiwan Walker, I mean, I'll tell you right now, I'll tell everybody right now, we have wins and losses of the week. He's definitely one of my L's for the week, and I'll leave it at that.
I forgot to do my W's.
Oh, perfect. I'll just riff.
Yeah, I'm sure I can
riff with it.
I'm sure I'll think of something.
Ooh.
Oh, that was close.
Close.
It's illegal to do play-by-play, but since this is he might be out. But since this is coming out posthumously, it doesn't really matter. But they're not reviewing it anyway. Yeah, a lot of stuff has happened. So I looked back. Our last episode, I believe, was I think it was in May.
Was it a year ago?
No, it was this summer because
Forbidden Door happened.
Yeah, Forbidden. Yeah.
If it didn't happen, it was something alluding to that because I remember the graphic.
We named the episode Forbidden Door. So the last episode we did was May 30th. So we would have recorded it May 29th, and that's when we had the 2-hour-long 85-match Forbidden Door card that I read at the end, and that's probably what ultimately did us in. Well, yeah, so it's almost, 3 months now? 4 months?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Ironically, that is...
So the day that this gets published will be 3 months. Crazy.
Crazy world. And ironically, that was, days before the month that was... Oh, Sosa just launched
one. Baby. Oh, I thought that was...
That looked like... That was days before June, which everything just kind of unraveled for us.
That was a couple days before you got a house, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
For those listening, yes, I got a house. For those watching,
that's why we're in proximity.
Yeah. For those who followed us on the podcast, I don't think we probably did maybe one episode.
I think it's only one. I thought it was 2 maybe, but I can only think of one that we did.
At your place, right?
It was right before we went to Game 3 against the Padres a couple years ago.
Yes.
And I remember sitting at the table saying, yeah, Gene Segura is going to be my X Factor. And that night he had the diving catch, the double in the gap, and another diving catch after also getting picked off. And I think we had plans to record again in person, and I think I fell asleep.
Yes,
there was a football game on, and I think I fell asleep as the football game was ending.
I think I had work at some point.
You may have, yeah. There was also another night that I think I recorded, Tuesday 10, and you guys were watching King of the Ring 2001 in the other room.
I feel so bad because I listened back to that episode, and all you can hear is me and your wife.
No, it makes me sound like I have friends.
Full conversation.
It makes me sound like I have friends. I remember sweating really profusely because I was worried you guys were going to hear me and it was going to cut into your conversation.
Opposite.
And I was sitting there in a hoodie and I'm right next to where the heating vent was.
Oh,
and I was already kind of hot. And I got done. That was actually the shortest Tuesday 10 I've done. The first one was like 50 minutes.
Yeah,
I thought
right through that.
Yeah.
Too.
That one, yeah. That maybe will make a return. It might be a different format from here on out because it's going to be hard to think of 10 fresh categories each week.
I mean, now that we are in the same state, we're very close proximity from each other. What is it, like 20 minutes?
20 tops, yeah.
So, I mean, it beats an hour and a half or so.
Yeah.
In Jersey from PA. And, yeah, so people who are watching or who are listening, go on the Instagram. I think it's pa.turnpod. It's been a while.
Yeah. It's PA dot, yeah.
Yeah, it's pa.turnpod on Instagram. You can click the links, and it'll show you our Instagrams, the podcast, where you can listen and where you can watch, which is YouTube. And hello, people at work who are most likely watching this.
Hello, at least one coworker who told me to send him the link.
There you go. So we're growing this little empire of ours back up again. Now that I finally made the move after 5 years of being in Jersey, now I'm in PA, and
now that kind of life is starting to get, nothing's going to be normal from this point forward, but now that life is kind of normal again.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of bullet points to hit.
Let's go for it.
So yeah, we're for those listening and are wondering, we are considering a name change.
Yes.
We don't know what it'll be. It's funny because you don't even take the turnpike from Philly to Atlantic City.
I realized that maybe 2 episodes into it, I'm like, my boy's like, what's the turnpod? I'm like, PA Turnpike.
I don't even think you take the turnpike from Philly to Jersey.
And mind you, I was in Jersey. Like, where is that? I'm like, I don't know either. He just came up with it. He's like, yeah, it connects from Jersey to PA. I was like, all right, cool.
It was a horrible idea. I feel bad that I even put that out in the ethos.
Fly in my house. Can't believe that, Tanner. I called it probably
there
sad.
It's
a dirty house. I promise you, it's not a dirty home. And for those watching, yes, who don't know that I have a house, this is all you'll get to see is this part.
I don't know if it's in the shop, but Chucky is with us still. He's a big component of every episode.
Yes, if you followed us on the Discord, online. We did videos, actually, but
we've done videos.
Only online.
I think our 10 or 12 most recent episodes are all video.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true.
There are a handful. But yeah, now that you're in Philly, we got to be like the Roosevelt Boulevard podcast or something.
You called it Route 1.
Yeah, the Route 1 pod, which is actually not a horrible idea, but that's also, it actually is a horrible idea. I thought like no holds barred, no punches pulled, but then it sounds like we're kind of like, we're a combat sports show where we're going to be more variety based going forward, I guess. We're going to try our best, but obviously it's all going to tie back into sports.
Right. And like pop culture. Who's this man on our screen?
That is...
My dad could take him.
I don't know who that is. He's stealing a base.
World II veteran. Stealing a base.
Have some class. That's Bryce Harper. That's how old Harper's going to look when his contract's up.
It's going to be sad.
In addition to this returning,
yes,
Mr. Joel does have another show.
Yes.
Fridays, I believe, with another co-host.
Fridays, for right now, is tentative because that's the day that I'm off, and then he's off every other Friday because he does a swap with another coworker. Because we do the SmackDown live reaction, commentary, review style of podcast with a little bit of pop culture here and there. It's called the Not Too Nerdy Wrestling Podcast.
There you go. That's a good name.
Huh?
You wasted all the good name energy on that because that is a great name for a podcast.
I appreciate it, but all credit goes to my co-host, Carlos.
Terrible podcast name.
He came up with that. He's like, it's got to be something, where it's like oxymoron and got to be cool, original. Because like, there's a bunch of nerdy stuff, but we're not nerdy, but we can play off that.
Do you guys use the words? Like, do you use like, do you say this guy's not over, and this guy's a mark? Okay, good. Then you are not too nerdy because there are too many people that don't.
I'll throw it in there once in a blue to like satisfy the marks that do watch wrestling like that. Kind of want inside takes.
I think you called me a mark on like the third episode we did.
Jesus,
I was like, okay, cool. We know some of the same lingo then. I feel that's fine.
All right, that's a compliment then. Never mind.
It was when we did the All Out review.
Oh Jesus. But yeah, it's called the Not Too Nerdy Wrestling Podcast. No Instagram yet at the moment. By the way, Instagram. I do have Instagram. It's been 3 years in the making.
Yeah.
I think 2 years actually.
You finished the end of 21. I think is when you cut off. John Madden's passing was where you drew the line, and you said,
"That's right,
I'm out."
That and who was it? Betty White.
Betty White, yeah, she died around the same time too. And Michigan lost to TCU in the what's it called, the college football playoff, and then got blasted by Georgia the next week.
Let's be real. That TCU Michigan, that's probably what did it for me. I was like, you know what?
That was
Off social.
That was such a great game. I love watching Michigan lose. Is now for the listeners out there and also myself? Is it not with the? Is it well, obviously not? It's going to be spelled normal. Is it 2 with the number 2 or the
T-double-O.
T-double-O? Okay,
Yeah.
it's not tu like you in Spanish.
No, not that. we both are Hispanic, but we're not.
Okay.
There's not going to be any Spanish in there. Maybe once in a blue. If we see the LWO, we might get inspired.
Wires drive me insane.
We're efforting here on the podcast.
Yeah, we're calling this is foul ball.
Foul ball.
Yeah, a lot of fun stuff going on.
Yeah, it's a wrestling podcast, and
Cool.
yeah, I mean, we're going to be doing some sports, and he even wants to like jump on this train right here because he's into sports. He knows all his sports except for I think he said hockey. He doesn't know shit.
Most people
I
don't
told
know
him,
anything about
dude,
hockey.
if you listen back, there's an episode back in the archives where we did a hockey logo,
It's one of my favorite episodes, by the way.
and I said that you listed out the logos. I had to say the team. I don't know much about hockey. And the one that I said that he flamed me for on the phone call earlier today,
I think I know which one this is.
the Flaming Seas.
Flaming
like,
Seas.
Dude, you could have said the Canadian Flames. I would have been cool with it. Flaming Seas, what are you doing?
And then you said, "What is that? An Indian head?"
Did I say that?
Because the
Oh,
Blackhawks are right next to it.
See, I don't watch. I only knew the Flyers, Rangers, obviously, and the Islanders. 'cause
Yeah.
that's
Well,
the
some of
obvious.
those have the word in the name. What we have to do is circle back and do it again and just see if
Oh,
you
I'll clean.
because we were
house.
going to do something with
soccer.
yeah. But I think most of those logos they're just like FC such and such. It's not like the
Yeah.
so and so bowls or something. So
Oh,
punch him.
what a.
Should have kicked Arcia.
Oh, because he ran out. Oh, that's Arcia too.
Yeah, it is Arcia.
Bitch.
I don't hope he tore.
And yes, we do curse here on the podcast.
You did it first.
Oh, yeah, he tries not to. I do.
I do it too often, so I've been making a concerted effort not to do it.
So, Mama Grable or anybody else watching or listening, I am a foul-mouthed guy. He is not.
Yeah.
He's an angel. I try not to make him curse. But if he does, it's out of frustration and it's justified.
Yeah, my dog would be barking at the TV. By the way, there was just
A dog?
an alpaca or something like that. Yeah, a lot of stuff is going on. So
But yeah, that's me. How about you?
So we're down 2, but we're up 1. So 2 people died. We got 1 on the way though.
Jeez.
It's pretty exciting.
I didn't expect you to go that way.
Yeah. So Papa Grable passed, and then his best friend died, and then that's kind of the beginning of the end of the pod. But yeah, the only cool thing I do have going on is I have a kid on the way, which is crazy.
Boom.
I think the last time I was here, and the first time I was here was when we told your dad, which is pretty cool.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a fun day. We were facing that way for that day.
Right.
And then
He was actually sitting in the seat that I'm sitting
Yeah.
in right now, staring out the window right here, and he's talking about, your wife.
oh, right.
And then all of a sudden, there she is. And I'm like,
He probably felt like the Messiah when he did that.
dude, within seconds, he was like, look at that. And my mom got up and was like, how? What? And I'm there sitting like, oh, man, here we go.
That's kind of how you were with the pizza guy, because we sat down and we were like, oh, let's get started. You're like, pizza's going to be here any minute now. And the guy calls you 2 seconds later.
Right as we were, I think we about to hit record.
Yeah, we were going to do the trial run where is this on? Blah, blah, blah. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah,
And
the
then
part that you heard in the beginning, we were
Yeah.
trying to do beforehand. It all worked out in itself.
I got dumped. Yeah, kid on the way. Just had the 20-week appointment Monday, which is nuts. No pun intended. But yeah.
Gender?
They.
Wait,
Yeah, it's
Hey.
it is a girl.
girl.
As I have said on this podcast before, God hates me. But as I was told, I was talking to a coworker,
Yeah.
and I said, "Oh yeah, we did the reveal on a Sunday." I said, if there were any divine intervention, he was off that day, so he couldn't step in and hand me a boy. But then my coworker, happens to be Jewish, said, "Well, depends who you ask if he was off that day."
Jesus.
But yeah, having a girl could not be more excited. I wanted a boy just because I thought it'd be cool to have Benny kind of have like a buddy. But
Right.
I mean, there will be dogs in the future. There will be maybe other children. Also, if you have a boy first, at least my thought process, you have a boy first. The second one's either going to be another boy, which is awesome, or you'll get the girl and you'll have the rich man's family. You have a girl first. You almost need that second one to be a boy, because if you're going to be done after 2, you would rather have 1 and 1 versus the 2. But we'll see.
And also live on the legacy, the
Yeah.
last name and whatnot.
Yeah, well, there's I think 1. No, actually, I don't think there's anybody out there that can carry on the name at this point. No, there's not. Okay, but I mean, who knows? But it's kind of exciting. It's cool. You feel old when you get to this age where all your friends are buying houses and all your friends are getting married and all your friends are having kids, and then you're the one doing all three, and then you feel even older. So who knows? The since we stopped recording, College Football 25 came back.
And GTA 6 has still not come out.
Yeah, GTA 6 has not come back. There's been rumors about bringing the F back to the WWF, and still nothing.
Was Vince still in power when we were last recording?
He might have been. This is probably. I think when we were still recording, it was before the report came out that Vince took a dump on some chick's head, which is still probably the funniest thing I've ever read in my life.
Jesus.
Because it almost didn't feel real. Because I was reading a tweet and it said,
it's straight out of Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah. It almost feels like a South Park episode of what they think Vince McMahon was doing. But yeah, I don't think he was in charge because because it was after Cody finished the story. So that was a Triple H thing.
Wait, May? We finished in May, right?
Yeah, because we did a WrestleMania review. Our second to last episode was a WrestleMania review.
Oh, mind you, those wrestling people, Damian Priest is no longer the champion.
Ah, yes, Gunther,
and amongst other things as well. But yes, we have a lot to go. As you said, college football is back.
College football is back. The Wolves are back. The Wolves are back.
The Wolves are back?
They're in College Football 25.
Yes, I haven't seen them yet.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass to create teams because you can't edit. Well, they even have the ball popping out of the glove. You can't edit the ratings, or you can't see the overall ratings of the players you're making until you upload them. So if I upload players and it's not the correct ratings, I got to go back and edit on the website, which crashes because of the traffic.
Right.
But yeah, we're back too. We start actually coincidentally on my birthday is opening day.
8th?
September 8th, yeah, because it's the first Sunday of football season. It's our first game as well. Could be the swan song for yours truly because of life, but
right.
Who knows? Hopefully, if we go out losing, I can't end there, but if we win, whatever, cool.
Go out on top.
Yeah. Actually, the tough part is when you win this league, they give you a credit for the next year. You can't just let that die.
Right, you got to keep going.
You almost have to. But yeah, you're a 2-time champion with Auburn and Penn State in the college football game.
Not me. Cletus Little.
Oh, Cletus Little, yeah. But and then Rob Anthony is the 2-time championship coach from the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. Stott has had a hell of a night trying to steal second, and that's like the 5th time he's tried to steal second.
And he rolls into it.
Yeah,
too.
he's 2 for 4, but he hasn't been caught stealing yet.
Well, Cletus Little, the quarterback of Auburn, was back-to-back champion. Then he transferred to Penn State in his senior year, and guess what? Won that one as well.
So you started in the Pac-2 because we didn't realize, we forgot that there were only 2 teams in that conference.
Yeah, what's up with that? Pac-12. They named it Pac-12. I go in there.
Well,
I'm Oregon State, and I realize it's only me in Washington.
Well, if you realize the Big 12 now has like 14 teams, and the Big 10's I think got like 15. It's all messed up. In the game, you got to go back and fix the Pac-12 and the Big 10. It's not fun. After the first year, I just changed everything drastically. As far as the show is concerned,
right,
we're gonna try some new stuff. Obviously, this is about 10 minutes of just nothing, but we're gonna try adding some new stuff and blending it with the old. Instead of us every Monday or Tuesday going, the Steelers beat the Ravens. Did you see any of it? Okay, me neither. Houston beat Tennessee. It says here that so-and-so scored a touchdown. I guess they're fun. They're in the division lead, so I guess.
Right.
Okay. So instead of us doing that, I think we're going to maybe do a little bit more brief review of football and maybe some more fun stuff. And we'll probably try to keep the top 10s in it. When we have guests on, I think that's when they'll be more fun because then it gives you a third person to bounce ideas off of.
Right, they curate their own little list.
Yeah. Another thing, we want to probably try more I mean, we've said that every time. We've only had like 1 guest ever, but we're going to try to get more guests. Yeah, we've had 3 maybe.
Yeah.
3.5. We're going to try to have more guests on. I already have people that have asked me if they can come on, and one of them we're going to tell them no. But the people that some
if
of them
you're watching this, that wasn't my call.
Some of them, yeah. One of them just wants to promote something. I was like, no, I don't want you on there because then you got to promote us.
Unless we're getting paid.
You won't do it for us. So, but then I have a coworker that would love to come on that actually knows hockey, which would be cool. Some former coworkers that maybe want to do it, and then some friends, obviously, which I think would be fun.
And I have some coworkers as well.
And then you've had somebody for a while that wanted to come on, I believe. At least you've mentioned before.
Damn, I don't remember. It's been so long.
It has been a while, yeah.
I remember he shot.
It's been at least 3 months.
Yeah.
But we're going to try something out.
Marsh looks like Castellanos back in the day.
Marsh was hitting about 310 when we stopped recording. He's down to like 220 right now. Johan Rojas, by the way, hitting over 300 since the All-Star break. And Bryson Stott, don't look now, but he's at 491, I think, in his last 31 plate appearances. So the Phillies are figuring it out, although it certainly doesn't look like it tonight. We're going to try adding another segment. We're still working out the kinks. Where we're going to call it maybe the wild card or something similar to that. Freaking Merrifield. Where instead of us keeping track of who's got more wins and losses for the football picks throughout the year, or maybe if we do the basketball ones too, week to week, whoever won the previous week can choose right then and there to do a segment, or say next week we're doing this. So it could change, but I thought the original idea was, okay, you get 8 wins the previous Sunday, I get 7, and then I go into it blind, and you already have your portion of it ready, and you're like, we're doing top 5 candies today, and I'm like, and I have to do it right then and there, which kind of makes me look like the one person gets caught with their pants down, the other one looks very smart and prepared, and then we can upload it with no context onto the TikTok and make people think that one of us is just absolutely unprepared and dumb. So
how do you not mention Take 5? It's the best candy of all time.
I listened to that not too long ago. I think I texted you when I was listening to that. I have a long commute on Wednesdays, which is now longer because of school, or that schools are open at least. And I was listening to some old. I just wanted to hear some top 5s and 10s. I was like, I don't really want to listen to like, I think Derek Carr is going to have 40 yards in the first quarter, which was usually a take that I would have. I was like, let me go listen to the Halloween candy episode, because I remember I actually had people text me about that and go, wow. You guys had things on there that should not have been.
Oh, really?
I think I had like Sour Patch Kids or something on there. Like, that's not a candy. Like, then what is it?
What is it?
It's not a chip. But I listened to that, and I remember
it's
how
not chocolate, sure. I guess.
Yeah, it's probably the distinction.
We're Philly.
Going into business for themselves. I think, were like dumbfounded that you didn't. I don't even think you knew what a Take 5 was. And then I remember, like a week later, you tried it, and you're like, wow, okay, this is that makes more sense now.
They were at work. I didn't know it at the kiosk.
Okay.
And I started buying them. I'm like, dude, it's crap.
I actually have a couple in my work bag right now. That's my guilty pleasure of late is the snack size ones. They're fantastic.
Johan Rojas out here in public.
There you go.
Looks like a random Dominican out here.
Yeah, he's asking people questions, and they don't speak the same language. The people he's talking to. ¿Cómo está tu cáncer? And they have no idea what he's saying.
Fanatic doesn't speak either.
Yeah, the Fanatic, he may as well be speaking. The Fanatic probably has better communication skills. Is that a Temple? Am I in that shot?
Is that Nintendo Switch in that real?
Yeah.
A one-hit Phillies game? Come on.
Yeah, well, it's better than a no-hit Phillies game like yesterday.
Nah,
so,
they got a hit, though.
So the goal right now, I guess, before we get too carried away, is once a week at the minimum. Obviously, you have another gig that you're juggling, and by January I'll be juggling many things, but
late December for sure.
Yeah, and by the time like November comes around, it's gonna be so hard to plan anything at all. Right. But we're gonna try to either stream or at least upload onto YouTube. Maybe use Twitch, which I believe is free. We found another like hosting site for podcasts that a coworker of mine sent me that we can monetize the podcast with, which is kind of cool. We'll try to use the same website we were using before to create clips and shorts on Instagram and TikTok. My schedule is kind of normalized at this point because the summer's ending. Your schedule flips sometimes, right?
Depending on certain people or schedule days off.
I remember it was a problem last year, but it seems like you've had this schedule for a while now.
Well, every summer I've had this schedule, and then somehow in the fall I get duped.
Yeah.
To getting off the schedule. But
at that point, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We always persevere.
You're obviously doing live reactions to SmackDown. On weekends, if you're not doing that, we could always do a half-hour immediate reaction podcast, or same thing with like Phillies games, Eagles games. If big things happen. Sure, if a trade happens, that could also go on Instagram Live. Like, there's different ways that we now have ways to distribute content. And now that we can do it in person, it becomes a lot easier to cut up and turn into an episode as opposed to waiting for Discord or Zoom or something like that to render.
Right.
Video game streaming is also on the table. I only play sports video games, which I don't know how interesting that is, but you get to see the
if you have the good commentary with it,
the ins and outs of the Coastal. That was a great play. I wish Ben Davis would shut the fuck up though. You get to see the
one curse word,
the ins and outs of the Coastal Carolina dynasty that we are looking for the three-peat. Potential solo podcast. Maybe the 10 comes back, or maybe we do the Friday 5.
It's great.
Something like that, and maybe emergency, episodes where we react and respond to things.
Ben Simmons signs with the Sixers.
immediate. The podcast has to end at that point. And, of course, it wouldn't be an anniversary episode if we didn't do NFL predictions.
Yes.
In years past, we have done too much. And this one's probably already going to be kind of long as it's the return. It's everything. It's like the 4-hour Raw, like right after WrestleMania when they bring all like the legends in. Hulk Hogan comes out, drops a couple hard R's, and like DX comes out and jokes about Kurt Angle, like takes perks
with no Billy Gunn.
Yeah,
because he's in the other company.
Kurt Angle's the honorary DX member. They're all blown up, walking to the ring.
Oh,
so,
dude, that was ridiculous.
That was horrible. But usually we do like 4 or 5 things: the over/under draft, bold predictions. Then we do division winners, wild cards, award winners.
Right.
We do the win-loss game with the Eagles. We're going to do a lot of that off air, maybe even today. But today we're going to do bold predictions and the over/under draft. Aside from that, we're not going to do, bore everybody to death. But we'll try to put some stuff on the Instagram, and if we make a Facebook, maybe we'll do that, and we'll move from there.
Right. Remember, PA, period, turnpod, TURNPOD, Instagram. Follow us, and you can check the stories or the posts of our predictions. We'll also even do the Eagles schedule. There you'll see, I'll tell you my record. Rob will tell you his record later on. But there on the post, you'll see which games we're talking about. I'm curious to see which ones you have lost and vice versa,
Yeah, we'll see.
It's always a schedule loss there.
I almost have to, there's one that's a definite schedule loss that I've already looked at. It's late in the season. It's on the road. I think it's one that I think most people expect them to lose. But
interesting.
We'll do that. Just to give you some interesting stuff. So 2023 statistics. I know numbers are usually not fun. Game picks. You were 153 and 119. That I believe is just the regular season. I was 167 and 105.
Balls.
In the picks at the end of the episode, which we might bring back this year, maybe we'll tweak it. 39 and 40 for yourself, 45-34 for me.
Jesus.
You got 20 correct picks in the playoffs. I had 22. Overall, 58.35% and 52.87%. So over 500. You got 6 of the, I think, 14 playoff teams correct. I had 7, so not a big difference. I had the Super Bowl winner correct, but they beat the wrong team.
I got nothing right so far.
And so you were 1 for 5 on your bolds for sure, with partial credit on a second. I got partial credit for 2 because I don't remember exactly the context. I do have them here.
That might.
So
if my math ain't mathing. That might add up to 1 point right there.
Yeah, but you get 1.5. So I think you get. So the bolds last year.
Ooh. I don't even remember them.
You had the New York Jets going 5-1 in the division, finishing in second place.
That was before Aaron Rodgers.
That was before A-Rod fell apart, got COVID,
right after
Achilles.
The flag.
You said there would be two neutral site games in the regular season. I don't remember the reasoning for that. So you get partial.
Weather.
Okay,
weather.
yeah. You get partial credit for this one. Carson Wentz will sign with and start a game for someone. He did sign with the Rams and start a game at the end of the season, but it was after they already clinched a playoff spot. And Stafford was not. They couldn't move up or down, so you get partial on that.
I'll take that.
Jalen Carter leads the league in sacks by week 14. 5 backups start a game, which was like in week 2 that happened, I think.
Bang.
And then mine. So I had one that says there will be a report Matt Ryan gets called for a job. I don't think that ever happened.
He got called.
I don't know if I don't remember it being news. I said betting scandal. I don't know if that was players, announcers, coaches, but there were definitely players that got suspended. But because I don't know, I gave partial credit for that. I said Anthony Richardson will lead rookies in touchdowns and interceptions. He played like 3 games. So
yeah, before he got banged up, clean.
Kyler Murray plays less than 9 games and Gannon gets fired. Neither happened. And then the other one, this is another partial credit.
What's up?
Daniel Jones has a higher quarterback rating than Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers, I think, threw 1 pass, and it was into the ground. So that one, you get 1/100th of a point for that one.
Jesus Christ.
Even though I think if you threw the ball to the ground, you probably have a similar QBR to what Jones finished the season with.
Jones was trash, too.
But those were fun. I always enjoy the predictions and stuff. I actually had one of my wife's friends said that her favorite thing on the it's crazy she even listens, but one of her favorite things we do is the predictions because it's something you can track and it's something you can laugh about being, comically wrong about or gloat about being so correct about.
And some of them are just outrageous or outlandish or egregious.
I think, what was the one I said?
You had one saying Bill Belichick will get fired.
I said Belichick would retire after the first year we did the podcast. Then we had one where, what was the one that I was so close. Oh, I said an Eagles player would get arrested during the season, and one got arrested like the week of the Super Bowl. It was a practice squad guy.
Oh, my God.
What is going on here?
What's up? Work.
Baseball stuff. I don't care. It's 8 o'clock. I don't care about baseball right now.
As we're watching baseball.
Fake baseball. And then there was one. What was the one I had last year or 2 years ago? That was. Oh, I said there would be at least one game that was forfeited because of a too many guys on the team got COVID.
Oh Jesus, yes, I remember that.
I saw. So I went on Reddit after I'd already put together some bolds, and I was reading a thread of people that were coming up with similar things. A lot of them were just like, "This team will win the division." That's not bold. One of them was. There will be riots related to the election that will cause games to get canceled.
Jesus.
I'm like, that's bold, but I don't know if the NFL almost doesn't care. Like they'll play over the dead bodies of the people from the riots. Like
they might do like soccer. They just won't have any fans in the stands.
I was talking to a coworker of mine who's very into photography.
Yeah.
He's like I don't know if he's a sports fan or like a fringe sports fan, but I was telling him, I was like, some of my favorite like sports videos and photographs are from the empty stadiums. Like I think it's such a cool aesthetic that we might never see again outside of like if you watch like an A's game or something where
or
there's
a
just
White Sox game.
Yeah.
Saw the projected people was 17 the other day.
Oh my God.
Which is unheard of. I don't think that was real.
I was able to sell my tickets for a profit I bought to a White Sox game. I think one of the last episodes we did, I talked about how the White Sox canceled the game I was going to. Literally, I think it was like 20 minutes before the scheduled first pitch, and I sold the tickets for a profit, which I'm pretty excited about. Maybe after the fees, it wasn't a profit, but pretty crazy. They actually coincidentally played the Braves that day. I think they beat them too. It was one of their 9 or 10 wins they had this year.
A long way from.
Is that Luke Williams?
The way they had the graphic pull out, I thought the game was over.
Former Philly.
Like what happened?
All right, so what do you want to do? I guess the.
Oh man, I thought you almost went Cody on me right there.
What do you want to talk about?
You almost went Cody on me.
I listened to Chris Long's podcast with Nick Foles the other day, and the first 45 minutes was just Chris Long talking about shit that nobody cared about. He's like, we like went to Lambeau, and like I met Romeo Dobbs. I'm like, bro, when's Foles coming on? And
He's buying time.
I always feel bad that we if we start a show with too much like Gaga that people will not be interested. But I think it's been
long enough.
Yeah.
And we're like half an hour in.
Okay, I thought it was longer than that. Perfect. So do you want to do the over-unders first? That'll be the one bulky thing we do outside of the that and the I beg your pardon.
The wrestling stuff?
The wrestling stuff and then the bowl. The bowls and then the wrestling stuff.
Let's do the over-under.
Okay.
Cover
try turning that mic on.
What?
It took one episode. We got technical difficulties, folks.
No.
Yeah, you cut out for a second there.
Can you hear me?
You're not plugged in, I think, is the issue. There's
How about now?
There you go. There's God, what was it? I forget what I was listening to. I think it was 97.5, like a little while back. They had this thing called the All-Star Day.
Okay.
And they would have all the hosts in for different times. And one of the hosts is just talking like this. And one of the other guys is like, hey, try bringing that microphone closer to your face, pal. Like, be a pro.
There's a Brett Yakamoto. I think that's his name.
Okay.
ESPN guy. He covers boxing and UFC. When he does interviews, the mic's right
Oh,
here,
my God.
and he talks so low. And I can only imagine, because I used to do production a
Yeah.
little bit in college, they had to raise the volume every time he's up.
Do you remember? It was in 2020. They may have done it in 2021 as well. The only broadcast network I remember seeing it specifically on was the Sunday Night Football, because Michelle Tafoya would be about as far away from you. So it would be like I would be Michelle Tafoya, and then your wall would be the player, and the camera would be like 10 feet back. You're like, how do you feel about how you played tonight?
The COVID
And then the
times.
person would be like 10 feet away, go, oh, we ran the ball well.
COVID times, nah.
COVID times were so much fun. I almost
Those
get
were the
sentimental watching. So MLB TV, it only has 3 years, I think, of baseball, not counting the current season that you're watching. So I can see 4, 3, 2, and 1. The 2020 games are gone, and I'm kind of sad. There's still plenty of YouTube stuff, but every once in a while, I just want to watch like an empty stadium game.
Didn't they bring fans back in slowly but surely?
In the World Series and the one of the divisions, one of the league championship series, I think it was the ALCS and the World Series, or the NLCS and the World Series, they had like 25% capacity. And then the next
That's what it was. It was like a capacity thing.
yeah, then the next basketball season, I remember the Sixers were empty and they were playing the Magic on the road, and they were like, "There's like 1,100 people here, and there's like 4 people in every section."
Yeah, but when we're all in the concourse, we're all together.
I got bad news for when they come out of this break.
What's good? What happened?
Matt Olson just hit another home run.
Yeah, we're on a delay.
Yeah, we're on a little bit of a delay here.
Great.
By the way, I just learned.
Hopefully it's 4-0, not 7-0.
So we'll dive right in a moment. But one of my coworkers has a son that goes to Coastal Carolina. As actually one of the few coworkers I have that listens to the some of the shows too. I saw the sticker on his car and I'm like, "Oh, Coastal?" He goes, "Yes, my son." I don't want to say his name, but he's like, "Yeah, my son goes to Coastal." I was like, "Oh, that's my team in the video game." He goes, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, I know. I know it sounds like I'm just like kind of joshing you, but yeah."
What if he was like a football player? I'm like,
Could you imagine? Yeah. It's like, hey, he's like, "Oh, they have a decent." I was like, "Oh, the quarterback Vasco, he's great. And Washington, the running back." I start rattling off names. He's like, "I have no idea."
if you played the mode that I played, say if he was the quarterback or whatever, like, I just replaced him.
Yeah.
My bad. Here
Oh,
comes
okay.
lefty
Well,
on
it's
lefty
coming up.
front. It's coming up. It's coming up, folks.
2 homers off
But
a
yeah, let's
lefty.
do the
is absurd.
over-under.
All right.
You'll have to kind of like pin it for me.
I'll,
I don't have anything on me anymore.
I will. I'll keep track here.
And we
for
do a
you.
snake. Oh, that is launched
ball's-
right center.
Pissed on that ball into the bullpen.
Bink.
Damn. All right. So,
Over under. How many?
4 overs, 4 under. So we cut the league pretty much in half.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Do you need the numbers?
No, I have the numbers.
Okay. All right. Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first? You're hosting. You go first. Unless you don't want to. We'll do the snake style. So whoever goes first, second person gets 2. That'll be 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, and then the last one is 1.
This is my live reaction. I haven't seen the numbers.
I haven't analyzed them at all. I just put them on here yesterday.
These numbers are rough.
I got home at like 9 o'clock at night. And I do all my pod prep like when I'm at
I'll start it
home.
off strong. Over 10.5 wins for the Eagles.
Okay.
I'll say it right now. I had them at 12-5.
Okay. I haven't even done the win-loss thing yet. I have them probably a little bit less than you do.
Again, PA.turnpod Instagram. Check it out.
You better. We track who sees it. I am going to go with my opening pick. Let's do... we're going to go Lions. Where are they at?
Where they at?
We're going to go Lions under 10.5.
Really?
Yeah.
That went just that son?
I think they're due for really bad regression this year. And then my wraparound. So I thought about this the other day. A lot of people are... Nah, I don't want to take that one yet. Let's go... I think we're due for a little bit more... I think this is the year the Chargers figure it out. Chargers over 8.5.
Jim Harbaugh.
I was shocked they didn't take Blake Corum in the draft. I thought that was 100% going to be Harbaugh's running back.
All right, so you got 2.
So I have, then you get 2 on the wraparound. Basically like a snake draft here.
All right, I got under 8.5 for Jacksonville.
I thought about them too.
I'm out on them.
Lawrence getting all that money. They're going to have to pay us to play for them because they're not going to be able to afford anybody else.
Right. And then give me over 6.5 for the Vegas Raiders.
I like that too. I think that's too low. They played like an 8 or 9 win team under what's his name, Pierce last year.
Yeah.
And I thought that they...
I'm not
you just got compared to Devontae Adams, apparently.
Bruh.
Yeah, I'm not as down on them as some of these other folks are. Now, there's...
That might be because Chiefs are still there. Chargers got Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, Chargers are... Yeah.
And who's the other team? Denver? They got a little rebuilding with
Bo Nix.
new quarterback as well.
Nix,
So
I think... Nix is starting, right?
he should be.
He is. I think Drake May is not the other rookie.
Nah, Brissett is.
Brissett, yeah, which makes sense.
It's a matter of when for May.
I'm going to go with... I'm probably going to regret this. I'm going to go Dallas under 9.5.
Oh, that's fair.
It's
the
trouble
wall.
is what that is. And then let's go... So you got the Jags. So I'm kind of going half and half here. Let's go with...
God. Atlanta's number. Jesus.
Yeah, that's a team I think too many people are high on. Arizona under 7.5. So I get 3 under so far. I'm not super high on many of these teams.
This is going to be cheeky right here. Give me under 9.5 for Atlanta, but they're at 9. I'm on record for them to go 9 wins.
Yeah, see
That division is so horrible.
That
They
happened.
beat each other up.
That happened with a couple of our picks last year, where we had unders and they landed just a half game under, or overs and they were just a half game over.
Right.
Or the inverse. Everybody came close to their numbers. You're at 2-2 so far, so you're right down the middle.
Give me. This is rough.
I think I already know what I'm taking. See, I'm about to take my 4th under already. I'll save it.
Give me. Fuck it. Give me over. This is rough. Because normally when we do this, we don't touch the high numbers
Yeah.
unless it's absurd. Give me over 11.5 for the 49ers.
You know what's
They're that
interesting
good.
is I think they're going to have a regression year 2.
I hope so, though.
All right, so I got to take an over at some point. Wow, Chicago's is awfully high.
Wow. Talking about someone high over there.
You know, they did it for me last year. I'm going to take them again. Tampa Bay, over 7.5. I like that number.
Baker
And
Mayfield.
Pittsburgh's number is way too high. I think this is finally the year it blows up. I'm picking Pittsburgh under 8.5. I think it's finally the year that Tomlin is just like, what the fuck? Like, get me a quarterback that can play. Because right now he's got 2 half quarterbacks, and when you got 2 quarterbacks, you got none.
It's
So
fitting that Russell Wilson is there for that demise.
yeah,
And Justin Fields.
Now I have to take.
I like
overs.
Justin Fields, though.
I do too, but I don't think I just think it's not happening at this point.
All right, where am I? Am I 3-2 right now?
You got 3 overs and 2 unders to this point.
Over 9.5 wins for the Texans.
Yeah, I like that too.
And give me. Do you have the Jets on there?
The Jets are 9.5.
Under.
Thought about that too.
Aaron Rodgers probably won't even make the season again. He reminds me of Andrew Bynum as a Sixer.
There's a chance he
Small
ends
play.
up just not even being any good for them. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Seen the arguments with him and his top receiver?
Yeah, that's not good.
No bueno.
So they got the Jetropolitans are off the board, and the Houston Texans, who I was thinking about taking.
So we're down to our last pick?
Yeah, so I got to take 2 overs, and you have to take, I believe, 1, 2, 3. You have to take an under when we wrap back around.
Under.
Let's go with. I like what they did this offseason. I'm almost kind of baited into taking them. Let's go Green Bay over 9.5.
Damn.
I know that's high, but I
bad.
don't think that Detroit's winning that division. And then I'm going to go with. Let's go Cleveland over 8.5.
Cosby.
So you got to take a 1, 2.
Under, right?
You have to take it under here, yeah.
With no hesitation. Under 10.5 for your Buffalo Bills.
See, I'm out on them too.
No one circles the wagons quite like the Buffalo Bills.
So one of my
Diggs
bolds.
is gone. Kincaid's okay. Coleman, their wideout, is a stud. Running back, they finally found one.
Yeah.
But Josh Allen, look like he's taking a dip this year. He has now a public relationship that he liked to keep private. It's downhill when the women are involved.
So I do have an interesting thought
and
on
Sanchez
them.
is gone.
Yeah, I do have I have an interesting thought on the Bills. Weirdly enough, Sanchez didn't pitch very well, but I don't think any of that was really his fault. That Olsen, first home. Oh God, they're using the same relievers way too much.
Hoffman there?
Hoffman, Kerkering, Strom, and Alvarado just pitched way too many innings. By the way, our condolences. I don't know what's happening with him, but on the he was on the restricted list right now. Jose Alvarado.
Yeah,
I think he's
family issue.
tending to a family issue. Yeah, our condolences to him.
That could have been stressing him out as well.
Yeah,
dealing with that
100%.
nonsense.
I think there's a chance that without Diggs, the Bills will be better offensively because there won't be. It'll almost feel similar to.
It won't be like a number one diva receiver.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain. This kind of simile/metaphor is going to sound weird when I say it, but remember the Brady Pats outside of Moss really never had a number one receiver, but Edelman was always involved, Hogan was always involved,
Right.
LaFell was involved, obviously Gronk, but I think without that number one guy to force the ball to 14 times a game or whatever it is, or how many targets he got, it's going to allow that offense to evolve, and I think Kincaid is more than capable of being the best player on that team. I'm interested, though.
They got that rookie Coleman's pretty good.
Shadur Sanders threw a touchdown pass to
Colorado's playing now.
Travis Hunter. Yeah, first touchdown of the season for them. Oh, that's right. There's games tonight.
Jesus.
Did you see the boost on DraftKings for Oklahoma to hang 50 on Temple?
Take the over, people.
That might happen in the first half. Yeah, we have a lot of games tonight, actually.
Um,
That North Dakota State Colorado game's on right now.
geez.
Shit, I meant to bet North Dakota State.
We can pop it on right here.
I don't know what channel it's on.
Here,
Yeah, it's probably better than watching this.
give me the remote.
Efforting, folks.
Effort in here on the podcast.
I'm telling you what, you got to get that Roku thing I was showing you. This is an ESPN venture.
Is it?
Yeah, that's
That won't take long.
I'm all in. So, bold predictions. We've done these a couple years in a row. I'm actually interested to see. I think North Dakota State's going to at least cover. I think it was 9.5.
I think Colorado won me some money last year.
Yeah, they. I had the
overachieved.
over in one of their games where they played Oregon, and I think Oregon beat them by 50. And
Oregon just
they had
embarrassed
like 14. Well, it's because they played. They beat Arkansas, then they beat Colorado State or whatever. Oh, they beat TCU in the first week, and I thought, okay, they're going to be fine. Like they're going to,
yeah.
they're not going to be great, but they're going to be able to beat teams.
They can hang for sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to see.
That
If
Michigan State, not Michigan State, Colorado State game was just.
that was that late Saturday game,
that
right?
was a personal game. That was like playoff atmosphere.
I can't get the line. I think it was 9.5, which is an easy whack for North Dakota State. That's one of the best FCS schools. So, bold predictions. I might actually be able to find them if I go back far enough. I have the sheet right here.
Oh yeah, I wanted to touch on this.
Go hit
Gabe
me.
Davis also is not a Buffalo Bill.
Yeah, he's a
So they
Jacksonville
lost both
Jaguar.
their key receivers. But as to your point, Kincaid and Coleman could be, and they found a running back. They could be all right.
Yeah. So
I
we
don't see
did.
it. 10.5 over. I don't see it.
I don't know. I think they could be good. There you go.
Especially if it's an early loss to Aaron
Is that
Rodgers.
Mark Jones and what's his name? Lewis Riddick again. Yep, that's the Mark Jones Lewis Riddick crew.
Joe Stoffel.
It's weird. They keep giving the black crew to the Colorado team. So 2 years ago, you said Jalen Hurts would have more rushing yards than Lamar Jackson. That hit. Barkley, 1,000-yard rusher. That hit. Bills host the AFC title game and lose. That almost hit. Broncos last in the division. That was the year they got Russ, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine were one Eagle gets arrested. We gave me credit for that.
Yeah, you were there.
James Conner gets benched and cut. Tom Brady more interceptions in a 4-week stretch than touchdowns, and Ryan Tannehill benched by week 8. That happened in like week 4.
All right.
So, and then the first year, did I have anything on? I don't think I.
I didn't have anything on
I don't think I detailed them here. We must not have done bold. No, we did bolds. Oh, here we go.
Oh.
I had Corey Davis 1,000 yards. He tore his ACL. The Pats beat the Bills on that Monday night game. That's how I got the Barstool hoodie.
Right.
There would be one COVID forfeit, and Bill Belichick retires. You said the Dallas wins the NFC East. 7 of the 8 NFC East and West teams are 500 or more. Jameis starts 17 games, and the refs fuck up. The ref fuckery was kind of like inevitable, though.
It was given. It was a given.
All right, so how are we doing this year? 4, 5, 11
What?
bolds?
Oh, dude. 5.
5. So I have
You have what, 20?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You
8.
were struggling to get 3,
And now I have 10.
and all of a sudden you're updating me all day. I got 9. I
So,
got 10.
so to be completely honest, so one of my bolds was going to be Patrick Mahomes' father gets arrested, and he got arrested. So I had to cut.
Did he?
I had to cut that off the list.
For what?
I have no idea. I saw it on Twitter the other day, so I had to cut that from the list.
Oh, all right. We'll do 6. I thought of one right
Okay,
now.
so I'll read off. So what do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4,
I'll write down
5,
before I
6,
forget.
7. I got 8. I'll cut one of them off. I'll cut 2 of them off. I'm sorry. But another one, so I texted you this one earlier, but the listeners will hear it now for the first time.
Right.
Another one of mine was Jason Kelsey will say on his podcast, like in passing, that he misses being an Eagle and he misses being out there, and then beat writers will spin that and say he wants to come back, which I feel like if it hasn't happened already, it will anyway.
Who's more likely to do that? WIP or the other one? Fanatics, I think?
Well, Fanatic, they've cut so much budget. I don't even know if they even have anybody to cover the Eagles. That'll be a camera thing on like a Monday morning. Jason Kelsey wants to come back. Juergens had a hold yesterday. Should they sign Jason Kelsey? Who's not realizing that these linemen drop like 40 pounds the second they retire because they don't have to eat 9,000 calories a day.
Right.
Let me see. 1, 2, 3. All right, I have 2 that I can definitely cut off. I'll read them at the end.
All right.
So you said 6?
Yeah, I have 6.
All right. Do you want to go first, or would you like me to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll get to this one.
We
right
may
away.
have I think there's a chance this year we finally have one that coincides with each other.
Dude, I hope not.
I think there's one
took me-
player. Okay.
Took me long enough to get 5. I just made 6 off the top of the head.
They always come to you when you're not actually thinking about it, too.
Right. Number one, at least 3 players busted for gambling.
Oh,
Has been evident in a lot of sports lately.
I like that.
NBA too. Who was it? Michael Porter's
Oh yeah,
younger brother or
Is it
something?
John Tay Porter, I believe.
For the Raptors?
Yeah,
Idiot,
dude.
by the way.
By the way, Angel Reese lower field goal percentage than that guy who was missing shots on purpose.
The Angel Reese slander has started, and it might not end.
I don't even watch the games, and I slander her on Twitter.
By the way, we can. Who's this?
That
there he
is
in the back.
that's got to be one
That's
of the
Hunter.
That's got to be some of the Sanders players.
I watched the Fevers. I watched more WNBA games in my entire life in the last, 3 weeks.
So what'd you watch? One?
Nah. Ironically enough, I only watched Indiana Fever because of Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, I watch.
She is legit.
I like the Aces too. They have a couple good players. They have
Yeah.
Kelsey Plum's really good.
Her, Asia Wilson.
Yeah, they're like the super team, right?
Yeah,
I
they're
think-
one of the super teams.
Yeah, they won the title, I believe.
The Liberty, I believe, is also
Liberty,
on the
they
super
have.
team. Ionesco.
There's a chance that at work now. So GNC, we ship packages
Look
out.
at that. Traditional kickoff.
Love it. We get so anybody that orders things on the website. A couple years ago, they started this program where we where we fill online orders if we have the inventory. There's some weird algorithm that pings to the store.
Right.
I had an order for somebody that lives in New York whose last name was Ionescu, like the same last name as the girl on the Liberty.
Yeah.
And I thought there was a chance it was a relation, like someone that's related to that person. And I'm like, do I Google and find out? I Googled the name and nothing came up. I didn't want to go too deep into it. Like, what is Sabrina, what's her name's brothers and sisters' names? But I looked up the address and it was a business, so I thought there was a chance.
It might have been.
I don't know. It feels weird to Google further because it almost gets like creep territory.
True.
Because I don't want to be that guy that like all of a sudden I get emails and stuff or someone shows up at my front. Why are you Googling this? You're married. What are you doing?
You also want to confirm, I can confirm that Sabrina Ionescu bought stuff from my store.
Yeah, it was 2 multivitamins. I remember. It was somebody with a different name. I might still have a picture of the packing label.
All right.
So
I got 3 people busted for gambling. It could be anybody.
I like it.
3 people.
We're gonna start hot because it's appropriate. There will be a Deion Sanders NFL coaching rumor by Christmas.
Oh, bowl time.
I was gonna say Thanksgiving, but I don't think coaches get fired that early, or on the hot seat that
Isn't
early.
it Black Monday? No, Black Monday.
Black Monday is
after the
like
season.
right after the season, but this is like week 15-ish, so there's still a couple weeks left. We're gonna get like a Cowboys Deion rumor in December
baby.
for sure. Like,
sign me up for that.
yeah,
That means McCarthy, you better fucking step up. He's been on that hot seat forever.
yeah, his seat's too hot for
Jerry
him.
Jones has other problems.
Yeah,
paying
Jerry
Dak
Jones.
and Lamb.
Yeah, so another
And
one.
Parsons.
So another one of my bolds was going to be Jerry Jones is actually going to. I don't know if I should say this.
Oh, don't do that.
Jerry Jones is going to say something racist, and it's
Ah.
going to be on camera or on the radio.
I thought you were going to say he's going to croak. I'm like, don't do that.
We do have breaking news on the podcast. We believe we
Whoa.
have our first kicks happening in my wife's womb. No, not that sound. They're not that.
I don't know if that's gunshots or fireworks.
What are we celebrating?
Labor Day.
Phillies hit a home run.
Labor Day weekend.
They just DFA Taiwan Walker. USC LSU, by the way, Sunday night's gonna be good. But yeah, I think first kicks.
I'll be watching
Pretty
NXT.
exciting. I'm excited to field them tonight.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
NXT. Yeah, that's
No mercy.
No Mercy. Yeah.
The first kicks, huh? Congrats.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you.
congrats.
Well, congrats. I didn't do anything.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
we're getting there,
It is
man.
cool. Yeah.
I can't believe it.
It's always weird when you say like we're pregnant. No, we're
She's pregnant.
It's my fault, but
Right.
all right. What do you got?
All right. Michael Penix Jr. will lead Atlanta to a playoff run because of Kirk Cousins' injury, a la Wentz did all the heavy lifting. Foles seals the deal. But in this case, Falcons will not seal the deal, which is almost
They might
three-quarters of the way.
seal the deal of playing in a playoff game.
Right.
I do like the idea that Penix takes over for Kirk Cousins because that would be so funny. Because now Kirk, Did they draft Penix and then sign Kirk?
No, they signed
Or
Kirk.
they signed Kirk and then they drafted Penix? So
First.
didn't they trade up for Penix?
I don't know. but
Yeah, we were. I don't think we were done by then.
right.
I really.
Latest touchdown.
There's so many on here I would love to use. This is bold enough that I think it's. I'm going based on how bold I think these are. My second bold. Kansas City and San Francisco each lose their first playoff game. So they both get back to the playoffs, but the fatigue from having made the playoffs, however many years in a row it is for both of them, will catch up to them, and they'll lose a game to. They'll each lose to a hot team. I could see Green Bay easily going into San Fran and avenging their loss last year.
They have done pretty well in San
Or I
Fran.
mean, how tired of Kansas City is Buffalo or Miami that they're going to go, fuck this team, and then by then, Brandon Marsh home run. Maybe that's what the fireworks were
Look
for.
at Wentz over there just yelling at people.
The Brandon Marsh hit a home run, so I think the fireworks were for that.
Oh, perfect.
But yeah, I think that there's teams are just fed up, and these are and the Rashee Rice things that came out today. Like if they have any weird legal crap that happens or
No
whatever,
three-peat.
yeah, I mean it's hard to get back there, and we've learned over the last couple of years the team that loses in the Super Bowl usually doesn't get back there either. There's a deep ball. That dude's wide open.
Oh, what a
Lord.
move!
Wow, that dude's fast.
He's gone, dude.
I should have taken the over on this game. That dude's very tiny.
They all are.
Yeah. Well,
They're like all freshmen.
Jimmy Horn. He was good last year, too.
Jimmy Horn sounds like his dad played in the league as well.
I don't think he's Joe. There is a Joe Horn
Horn?
Jr., but he was in the XFL, I believe.
That's not a bad one. That's not a
Did
bad
Jimmy
bowl
Horn
right
change
there,
his number? I don't remember him being that number. 75 looks like one of my scoring drives. All right, what do you got?
though. All right, next one.
Oh, they're right back in this game. I'm sorry. They're right back in this game. It was a 3-run homer.
A 3-run?
3-run bomb for Marshy.
Do we go back?
I mean,
14-10.
I think when NDSU punts here. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you almost have to.
There will be a 2-win team and a 2-loss team in the league
Oh,
at the same time.
I like that.
Opposite records.
I like
that.
creative stuff like that. I like the 7 out of 8 teams will do this, or there will be this team that does this.
Oh, I have one there too.
Let's see. What do we got here?
With my delay, we might see the home run, and we just did.
Oh, true.
It just happened.
That's
We got
funny.
to see the reaction of
That's
the home run.
great. I got the notification like 4 minutes ago. Damn, I really want to use this, but I
should have been at the game.
This is almost too bold that I'm starting to not believe it.
Go for it.
But I think it's possible, dude.
What's up? Talk to me.
Sam Darnold starts a playoff game.
What team does he play for?
Vikings. J.J. McCarthy just got hurt. He's out for the year. And
yeah.
Sam Darnold's the presumed starter there. Now, if Sam Darnold doesn't even get the job, that would be just absolutely abysmal for me.
Hoppa.
That's my number 3. I'm sticking with it.
All right, go for it. So we're on 4 now for me?
Yes.
This is crazy.
I think I found the 2 that I'm going to dump, but I'm going to still say at the end.
And we have 6, right, total?
Yeah. I have 8 and 2 missed the cut.
All right. So I have that.
I feel like I had another one that I was going to.
Another one. These 3 teams will finish the season 500 or better. The New England Patriots,
Oh,
the Arizona Cardinals,
oh, baby.
and the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, baby.
Talk to me.
I would.
go.
I'll give you credit if 2 of them do it. I actually don't.
Wait, is that possible? Can you finish?
Yeah, you can finish.
It's
If
an extra game now.
you go 9 and 8, yeah, you can't finish 5. Well, they can go 8, 8 and 1, I guess.
Oh,
Theoretically, if
that's a
there's
tremendous bowl of those 3 teams.
tie. Yeah, theoretically, if there's a tie. I mean, I would have to look at their schedules. One of my bolds comes from the fact that I looked at a team's schedule and I said that looks like could be
Death?
trouble. Yeah.
Well, you saw the Eagles schedule?
No, well, that's pretty bad too. This one for the memes, I think, is hilarious.
Go for
It could also tie into one of my other ones.
See you, Martin.
Bye. Drake will publicize a bet for a Super Bowl winner, and that team won't win a playoff game.
Doesn't he do that during playoff season, though?
I don't know. So that's the
I think
thing.
he does.
So
So he's like all in.
yeah, I think sometimes he does it way beforehand. Drake's gonna put money on like the Chargers to win the Super Bowl, and they're gonna lose in the first round of the playoffs.
Won't even make the playoffs.
Yeah, right.
Oh, tragic.
Yeah, I think it's more likely to be Kansas City that he puts money on and they don't win the playoff
Yeah.
game. Or at least they lose the next game they play. Let's I guess tone it down.
Because he drops like a significant amount of money.
It's usually like a couple $100,000.
So for a team that's like a minus whatever, like the Chiefs,
Yeah.
that would be enough. If you put like say the Panthers, just like a quarter of what he's going to normally put for the Chiefs, he'd be set. He'd
Yeah.
be set. I don't think DraftKings would allow that.
I mean, he's got to go to like some offshore place.
Or Vegas, just go to the casino to
just pay cash, yeah.
All right, so we're at 5.
5th one, yep. Now I got
This is craziness right here.
I got a lot. I got 4 to pick from. I got to think.
This doesn't even ever happen. No team will be shut out this season.
Wow. That's going to be a fun one to track because we're going to be a couple weeks in and we're going to be like, oh, man, that team lost 28-3.
It won't take long if the Eagles get shut out in Brazil.
Yeah, they're going to lose that game. I like that one. Yours are a little bit more creative than mine. Mine are more just like stupid shit that might happen.
That was the one that got added earlier in the day.
Oh, I like that.
Let's stretch it to 5.
That's a good pick. Yeah, so one of these is really fun, but I don't believe it. Another one is.
I mean, it's bold prediction.
Another one is kind of fun, but I don't believe it. Because I already teased it. I think the Cowboys start the season with no more than one win in their first 6 games.
And McCarthy gets canned.
Yeah, that could be what happens. So I have them losing at least 5 of their first 6. Let me read you their first 6 games.
Dan Quinn's still there?
What's that?
Is Dan Quinn still there, or did he leave?
No, he's the head coach for
Tennessee.
Oh, where the hell did he go?
Someone over there is watching.
Washington.
Head coach for Washington.
Yeah, because it was him or he almost hired Chip Kelly. So let me read you the first 6 games for Dallas, because the NFC East has a pretty tough schedule this year.
Schwarbaum.
I would have found out 6 minutes ago.
Oh, that's true.
So their first game's at Cleveland. That's a tough game to start the season again.
Myles Garrett wreaking havoc.
They come home against New Orleans, which could be a win.
Yeah.
Then they play Baltimore at home. They're at the Giants in primetime.
At who?
At the Giants in primetime. Then they're at Pittsburgh in primetime. And then they play at home against Detroit. So I mean, one win. If they go 1-2, if they go 1-2 between New Orleans, Giants, and Pittsburgh, there's a chance they start the season 1-5.
If you stick it up against New Orleans and the Giants, oof, you got a lot of soul searching to do.
It is it is bold. I don't know how much I believe it. Now I have 3 left, and
you have 3 left. Oh,
I have one that I'm kind of gonna believe, but yeah.
You going with one on the record?
Yeah, I gotta go one of the 3, and then the other 2 I'll tell you. And
you know Commodore lies a lot. Stupid.
I haven't gotten enough mail about it. No.
You gotta love. What is it? Election season.
Oh my
gotta
God.
love it.
When you don't have an emotional attachment to anything having to do with politics, aside from just like, hey, I don't want to pay $18 for a pack of gum, like,
right?
It's so much fun watching the political because I think when you understand, this is the only political thing I'll say. When you understand the art of propaganda and the art of like loaded language and extreme wording, these ads are so bad. It's like watching.
Bad infomercials.
What's it like South Park and Wendy's like, yeah, and everybody's gonna get $5,000 if they vote for me. And Cartman's like, and we're gonna have cheesy poofs in the lunchroom all the time. Like they're just full of shit all the time.
Second curse word.
Sorry.
Keep an account here.
Yeah. What's the doesn't McAfee do that? They keep track of the F-bombs on the episode that get dumped.
I think they did. I think they just went off the rails.
Well, McAfee was too busy boozing with Seamus.
He was too drunk. I think you sent me the clip of the New York guys were like, must be nice. Must be nice. Like, he's having a good time, drinking a pint up in Dublin, and we're here, like schmucks.
Oh, like the producers and stuff?
No, the Yankee people. I forget his name, Rosenberg and stuff.
Oh, Rosenberg. Oh, right. Yeah, that's right.
All right.
That's funny.
Is it my turn now?
You are. Yeah, mine was. I just did the Cowboys lose 5 of the first 6.
Last one. Selena's friend, I forgot her name, who's a Swiftie. Don't come at me if you're watching this. Or anybody tells her, so don't do that.
All of her friends.
None of you, don't come after me. All right?
Yeah, good luck. That might be the only way to get enough people to click on the post about the podcast. Just hashtag Swift.
All right, how about this? I'll bleep it. This entire bold, I'll bleep it. Rob will be the only one to hear it. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift break up.
You know what? I thought it was.
And Travis is the one that breaks it off with Taylor.
I thought it was more likely he proposes in the Super Bowl.
Fuck that.
No, I think that's fair. My mom's like all over the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce thing, and
we can get back to football.
I find it repulsive.
Get the Swifts out of here.
I think it's more likely he retires because of her. By the way, we're blaming Wembley being 3/4 empty because of how Taylor Swift had the stage set up, because that's what AEW's doing.
Oh, really?
The Young Bucks posted a TikTok of their entrance. Like they were practicing. They're like, oh, the stage is a lot higher because Taylor Swift was just here. Like, shut the hell up.
No.
Damn, I had another one. Oh, I had a bold that the Yankees would outscore the New York Giants on one of the Sundays of football season,
Really?
and I cut it off.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
because it happened a couple of years ago. Under I think the Red Sox outscored the Patriots a couple of years ago on a Sunday, and we talked about it after the fact.
That would be a nice bold.
Yeah.
That would be a nice bold.
Let's see. What's the last one I want to go with?
Strom. Another
guy
reliever.
who's got too many innings on the year.
Dude, playoffs going to be
All right,
rough.
so I actually kind of believe this one. I think the New York Giants will have a top 3 defense in points and or yards allowed this season. I know that sounds crazy, but I think they have a really good defense.
Top 3?
Top 3.
It's underrated for sure.
I kind of hedged because I said points and or yards, but
It's fine. It's fine.
I was going to say points per game or points total, but by the end of the year, it's the same thing. Doesn't really matter. Did you have any that missed the cut?
Nah.
All right, so I had Carson Wentz plays meaningful playoff snaps,
Wow.
and Jake Elliott scores a touchdown. It's more likely he throws a touchdown, but they were the two that came to me, and I.
And they're both plausible.
They're
That's
both
the thing.
realistic. I mean, Mahomes has gotten hurt.
That Jacksonville series?
Yeah, that Jacksonville game, he destroyed his ankle, and I mean,
coming back in the game.
how cool would it be for Wentz to get his opportunity with Andy Reid of all people? I mean, he's almost following the same career path as Foles.
I almost want that to happen.
Strike 3.
Oh,
That was pain.
don't ever mention that around him. Yeah,
Well-
you're kind of doing the same thing Foles did.
Well, think about it.
Guy,
So,
they replace you to win the bowl. You're on your way to get a
so
Super Bowl.
he was an Eagle, then he got replaced by his backup, then he was a Ram, and then he was a Chief.
So you're saying
So he's coming back next year. He's going to contemplate retiring and becoming a priest, and then he's going to be an Eagle next year, and he's going to win the Super Bowl after Jalen Hurts blows his knee out.
and then we get rid of Jalen Hurts.
So who won the Super Bowl the year before the Eagles did? It was the Patriots are not winning the Super Bowl this year. So I thought maybe we could do the time as a flat circle thing, but
Nah. F that. Oh, strike, bitch.
yeah, he does look good right now, 98.
But yeah, I mean, that would be nice. Imagine him playing in a playoff game, meaningful one
Yeah.
against Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Dougie P.
Or really, or the Colts, a team that he used to play for.
And they let him go after he fumbled the last
Yeah.
game of the season.
Yeah, that was a shame. I was talking to somebody about. He really wasn't bad for them.
Dude, I
it
laughed
was
when I saw that.
it was just that one. He threw the left-handed interception out of the end zone or whatever it was.
Damn,
Kirk,
Asuna.
did he just strike out the side?
Asuna, bitch. Get out of here.
DUI. If we could do the Mercedes Monet entrance music, but
Stop.
dub over
No.
Phillies fans chanting DUI at Marcelo Zuna.
Oh. That'd be wild. That'd be wild stuff right there. All right, what's next?
We call that a transition in the business. So we're gonna do the wrestling roundup.
Wrestling. Do
Eight.
it.
So we're about 5 days removed, 4 days removed from All In Wembley.
Yeah.
I thought this year's show was twice as good as last year's. I don't know how much of last year's you saw. I didn't watch the whole thing.
I don't.
I watched the
remember.
highlights of last year's.
I think I saw the highlights.
MJF and Adam Cole was the final match.
Okay, I didn't watch
There was
it.
like 7 different matches where there were more than 2 people involved. I think the only one that was a singles match was the main event and the opener with Punk and Joe. But they had like a 15-man tag and a 38-man tag, then like a bunch of other. We have the Coastal Dad texting me.
No,
They're up 17-3 on Jacksonville State. Hell yeah!
let's go.
Shout out Coastal. I do love.
Do you know you should fire Bob Casey as well? Election season, baby.
Grandpa Yossi here from eBay Motors. I hear this commercial every day on the radio. Coastal Dad texted me twice during the show. How great is that?
It's awesome.
I love it. I'm actually rooting for Coastal. It sucks they lost their quarterback. Grayson McCall transferred from Coastal to NC State. And when I got the video game, I remembered that as I was loading up the roster. I was like, motherfucker, he was really good for them, and he's not on the team anymore. But Ethan Vasco, shout out, pal. If you were even a real person, great quarterback. But yeah, so last year's Wembley show sucked. I thought
that
it was
all in.
that
Or
was all.
out?
It was all in. All Out was the one Punk got in the fight with Jack and, or no, I'm sorry, no, that All Out was in Chicago and Punk wasn't there. It was the one they booked in Chicago because of Punk, and then he wasn't there for
Because they used to
it.
call it. Oh, look, we got lights in the background.
Yeah,
Cops. Because they call it brawl out or brawl.
yeah. There was Brawl In and Brawl Out.
Oh yeah, that's
I
true.
think the All Out the previous year was the one where he fought the Bucks.
That's right. And he came back.
And then
Yes.
almost a year later, he choked Perry a little bit. The video gets funnier every time you watch. I told you this the other day. It looks like Taz kind of wanders in at the last second.
And,
Hook like lays the title on the floor.
Aleister Black with a coffee.
Yeah, he comes in with the coffee and then just walks gingerly behind Punk on the way out.
Cassius Ono, or better known as a different name, was
what's his name? Chris Hero, right?
yeah, Chris Here's like
In the pink shirt too, of all things.
obvious.
Samoa Joe's just getting in the, and he just comes over and is like, "Hey, stop." And Punk's recollection of the story is Joe comes over and goes, "Hey guys, stop," and we stopped because I think everybody is probably scared to death of him.
Right.
He deserved a better fate. It's a shame he wasn't on this year's show. Him and Copeland were not being there kind of stunk. But we both watched it.
Right.
Obviously, not as many people listening are going to care about this as we do, and some of the other things you'll care about. We'll get through it pretty quickly. We're also 2 days away from Bash in Berlin.
Yeah.
Which I was excited about until the card came out, and then the card stopped coming out. There's only five matches on the show, dude.
Yeah.
Are we going to get a sixth? Do you think SmackDown they add a sixth?
No. They've been very consistent with
I don't
the
like
5.
that, dude. I understand you want to let them breathe a little bit, but these are some of the most predictable matches I think we could possibly have. So I don't know what the order will be. I kind of guessed it here. I have the women's tag match opening the show, which I think it'll probably be Cody that opens it. I think Cody and Kevin probably open it because they like bookending their title matches, it seems.
Yeah, you're right on that one.
And I feel like they would probably catch some flack if the girls were the opener, because then you're kind of just it's not in the main part of the show.
Well, for this one,
Did you have
Gunther is basically the hometown guy. You have him as the main.
I have Gunther in the main event. Here's my guess.
So
Wikipedia has an order, but it's backwards, I think.
You want the women to come. I mean, what was the
You
last?
want to start. You really want to start hot, and I think Cody and Kevin starts out. And there's no story, so you don't need to play a package before the match either.
The story.
You got the Unholy Union, which are two women I've never heard of, Alba Fire and Isla
Dawn.
Isla Dawn against Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill.
He's out.
So Montez Ford's wife and Brandon Phillips' wife against two people I could not. I wouldn't know Alba Fire if she kicked me in the nuts.
I don't know because I played the 2K wrestling.
The video game.
Reason I know.
I've heard the video game's great.
It's fantastic.
Bryce Harper laid down a bunt.
And he missed.
Did he
it.
beat that?
No.
Oh,
he thought he did.
Oh, I thought he beat that. So this is my prediction is that the
slow motion here.
my prediction is the people I've never heard of win,
Oh,
and then Jay turns heel and beats the shit out of Bianca. Because they can't put the belt. They can't put the belts back on them, or maybe they have a rematch on SmackDown Friday.
I never like putting tag team belts on a non-tag team, a traditional tag team. It's two singles people. You throw them together to eventually break up and have their own storyline.
Yeah, sometimes it works. Like when Edge and Benoit won the belts in 04 or whatever it was. That felt kind of cool when Taz and Spike won the belts. I thought it was cool.
Callback. I don't even remember that.
Listen, we're right in my wheelhouse. Taz and Spike were tag champs at one point. Hogan and Edge were tag.
Spike Dudley?
Yes. Spike was tired of getting beat up by his brothers, so we got Taz to help him out, the smallest guy on the roster. But I do prefer traditional. There aren't too many traditional female teams, I guess.
Because Vince fired them all. What a wild time.
And the
Riot Squad.
The lesbians are on Raw. So are the tag belts universal or are they on one show?
My coworker, the one that I'm going to do the Not So Nerdy Wrestling podcast, coined it as the Tresbos.
What was the one? Meechin gave them a nickname. The Stud Line. That, I think is a better name than what they get with the
Stud Line.
The hell's their stupid name?
Team Forehead.
Team Forehead.
Soon I said that to someone in my voice.
Team XY chromosomes. What was the one that? What are they? The something Fusion Collective.
Pure Fusion Collective.
That sounds like a fucking pyramid scheme. It's like sell these knives.
They couldn't land. They couldn't decide if it's pure or fusion. They said, "Fuck it, we'll just throw them all in there together."
Yeah, collectively.
The acronym. There's no acronym. PFC. Is that what you want to call it?
PFC.
Short?
Yeah.
What? It's not even the first letter of their names.
Did you see somebody made? So you know how the Shield music is Sierra Hotel, etc. Somebody made one for was it like lesbians or lesbos or whatever it was?
Yeah, I remember that.
All right. So
you can do that for anything.
What's your prediction for the popcorn match?
The tag team?
Yeah.
Still champs.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Dude, do you know the men's titles?
That's safe. No, it's out.
The men's tag belts haven't been defended yet by either team at all. I don't think the Raw ones. I was thinking about this on my drive to work. I couldn't remember who the Raw tag champs were. It was it's the Judgment Day guys. They haven't defended the belt since they won them,
right.
and then the SmackDown guys I don't think have defended
Bloodline?
them either. Yeah. Although granted, Jacob's been hurt. Oh, all right. We're gonna turn the phone upside down, and we're gonna just let it happen. So what's your prediction for the undisputed, in spite of the fact that there's another one, championship match between Cody and Kevin? It's not undisputed if there's another champ.
Cody's definitely winning,
Yeah.
of course, but there's probably a definite heel turn happening, if not the workings of one.
I have a feeling that Cody, if they want to turn him heel, this is the feud to do it with. Because,
Castellanos.
Man, that was the pitch to hit, wasn't it?
That was a swing to hit.
Yeah. Is that Grant Holmes?
I
Oh, he's on my.
think I know what you're going with.
It's
I
on
think
my fantasy. Because I think what could happen.
because we're all expecting Kevin to do the heel turn, but in
Yeah,
fact,
and it's Cody.
Cody
yeah.
does it.
It's the fact that they don't believe.
Damn, that is launched.
Pissed on that one.
Dead center field, Castellanos.
The wind has to be
It's
blowing out the center,
5-4,
right?
baby.
The wind has to be blowing out the center, right? That's 3 to straight.
Castellanos jersey off.
Wow,
off
that
camera.
place is packed. 107 off the bat. That's impressive. Center field, too. Like it's not like he pulled that down the line. That ball was crushed.
And the powder blues, baby.
Man,
Looks so good.
The Braves can't get out of their own way.
Attaboy.
I love when old people have signs because they're like, it's like, all right, where'd you learn the meme?
Keep the tradition. That's it, right?
In between posting about politics on Facebook, they make these signs. My grandson told me this would be funny.
The fact that they're walking.
Wow,
into the
that place
stadium
is packed. I guess it makes sense.
Well, I saw earlier. I don't know if you have Game Time app.
The
The
ticket app.
Yeah.
I sometimes download it when I want to go to an event because my friend tells me it's cheaper on there, but it really isn't.
Dude, this morning tickets went down 20%.
Really?
Got the notification. I was like,
Well, I
"Damn."
guess yes. Games like this, I can see that happening, especially with the rain that was on the forecast. Or at least it looked like it was going to rain.
Oh, it rained. Look.
So I think this is the feud where everybody keeps saying, "Why is Cody trusting him?" And then all of a sudden, the paranoia catches up to him, and instead of Randy turning, it's Cody, and then that's the feud they go with. But then you lose your biggest draw and your biggest hero, and then all the kid you can't do the Make-A-Wish stuff.
Right.
Like it's almost I don't even want to see Kevin as a heel because then he just gets
He's a better heel, though. for
SmackDown. SmackDown has no heels, which is the problem, and especially because
Sure. Bloodline?
Orton. Well, I mean, no like top heels. Like the Bloodline's their own thing. Like and
They don't
and
need the belts.
They're
I'm
not
saying
even
that.
in like a regular. It almost feels like they're not even in the same timeline as everybody else. They're just like in the Bloodline thing.
universe, like
Yeah.
the MCU.
Like and especially if Randy stays on Raw, that cuts out another potential heel for SmackDown.
Right.
And at some point, they're going to have to put somebody over there or make somebody a monster heel. Maybe when Cena comes back, they'll pull the trigger on Cody. But
When's he coming back? Jesus.
January, right?
Oh yeah.
I think that's the plan.
Yeah, sure. You're gonna have a short WrestleMania run.
So we both think Cody wins, probably clean, right?
Yeah.
Kevin has
If
a
not-
chance to cheat, and he doesn't do it. And then
If not, well, that happens, and then Cody does like a cheeky roll up, grabbing the tights.
oh,
Never
plant
know.
the seeds. Mixed tag, which
Hi. Some dudes look old people.
Is that Chris Hero with the pink shirt? I might sound like an old. I don't like mixed tag matches. I think they're stupid. I
It's a
get it
gimmick.
because they're trying to
Oh
keep.
baby, Real
He
Muto opposite field.
Just missed that. Right in front of the sign that says he's only got one war on the season. Nice. I think mixed tags are good if you want to have people interact without them having a one-on-one match. But
Right.
Priest and it feels like Priest and Balor is going to be the bad blood match, and they're keeping them apart. And then Liv and what's her name
Rhea.
are going to have a bad blood match too.
Oh, for sure.
It sucks when they use the pay-per-views to set up the next pay-per-view, though. I'm not a big fan of that, especially the ones that aren't here. Like, has there been a title change in any other country yet? Because
France didn't get one, right?
France didn't get one. The 4 titles changed at SummerSlam, which was in Cleveland. The Toronto pay-per-view, nothing changed.
I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Unless the women's tag changed in France.
They actually... No, that happened SummerSlam,
And,
right? It happened the Friday.
Oh, the men's tag happened right before SummerSlam. The women's, I don't know when Bianca and Jade won the titles. That may have been in France. But that was also like a 3-match card. It seems like they don't give the international crowds the big title changes, which is why a lot of this is so kind of predictable.
Right.
I don't know, Damian and Rhea versus Dom and Liv. I mean, it feels pretty. The way they've made Damian Rhea look on TV, it almost feels like they're kind of reversing it. Because you know how like the go home show, whoever is holding their hand high at the end of the Friday before the pay per view, they definitely lose the next day.
Right.
It feels like Damian and Rhea have been too dominant for them to keep being dominant. Like it almost buries the Judgment Day.
Yeah. They've also booked them as in like the Brothers of Destruction, like the Terror Twins as they're now
Yeah,
coined. Two big badasses, and I'm like,
you can't be so clearly better than people who have more people than you.
Right.
It just feels kind of silly.
They need a big win. Could they each lost? I mean, I don't know. That one, I don't know who's really going to win, honestly. It can go either way.
I think the heels win. And then
I would like to see the heels win, but I think they're going to have the faces win.
I could see it. I don't know. Either way.
Right.
Strap match, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. Feels too predictable that the guy that... If it's a trilogy, the second it can't be 2-0.
Yeah.
So Punk will win.
Punk wins.
I think they lean into him being the veteran and him being resourceful and Drew being so hot-headed and willing to, kind of not stay within himself.
I don't think they're going to play that card because Drew already has a win over him. Drew knows he's better than him.
Maybe he gets complacent, yeah.
And Punk's the one that's hot-headed because all Drew has to do is just show the bracelet and
Fair.
Punk loses.
Yeah, I don't think he regains the bracelet, though. I think the Hell in a Cell feels like it's going to be the...
that's the one, baby.
That's if they even do it.
That's a Survivor Series.
Yeah, then the world title, Gunther beats Orton, right?
Yeah, clean.
So at least three of these are pretty obviously going to be... Yeah, Gunther has to be Orton.
Look out, tie game. You would have got the notification.
Yeah, I'm going to turn this up now.
Ooh! That's sweet. Sorry, folks, who are listening.
Is this enough, or would you add another? I mean, the options I gave you could have saved Gable and Howdy for this.
Oh.
You could have had Michin versus Nia. You could have had
By the
either.
way, did you see that?
They had a match, didn't they?
Yeah, I wouldn't sleep at 10. The 3-hour Raw's got to stop.
They stink.
At 10 o'clock, I'm
Oh, I did see that. Yeah, it was a TV match. The mid card belts are not being defended. The tag belts are not even going. You have no Bloodline anything. You have no Jay, no Sammy, no Solo.
This is
no
where
Ilya.
you introduce a new belt.
This is where they could have had Ilya versus Braun Breaker, and they've
For fuck's sake, throw out Andrade with the speed belt. Show that. Display that for once in a while.
And do we have any hope in Bad Blood having more than 5 matches?
At this rate, no.
Can we figure out the Can we figure out the 5? Punk and Drew. Balor and
When's
Priest.
Bad Blood?
October, I think. It might be September.
October?
I think it's the next one, and then it's summer, and then it's
I would say Rollins comes back, but he looks like he's dead.
I would save him for Royal Rumble, and have him be one of the surprises.
Nah, he's got to be in that feud with Punk and Drew somehow.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Drew and Punk thing.
Bronson Reed, who just killed him to begin with.
Yeah, it's true. I think you can go. I think you get a Cody Kevin rematch with one of them heel.
God, rematch.
You got Rhea Liv. That's 2.
Rhea
Punk
Liv.
and Drew 3.
Priest and Fowler.
Priest Balor 4, and then maybe Gunther doesn't even have to be in a match.
Gunther. Oh, this guy. Fuck. Scott Steiner's kid.
Braun, yeah.
Breaker and who?
Anybody.
Ilya.
They should have done LA Knight and Santos at this one. Could have been a good opener. All right.
Yeah, that tournament though too.
All right. So as we leave the children's table, Wembley. I can't believe I'm saying this, but the Wembley pay-per-view might have been the best one I've seen this year outside of WrestleMania. SummerSlam was really good.
The storyline in some. Oh, he got hit.
Oh.
Storylines in some of these matches were great. I don't follow the program as much.
I don't
Probably
either.
You do,
Yeah, I don't watch. I can't watch Dynamite because I get done work at 8 on Wednesdays, and it's an hour drive home sometimes, or it's an hour from the time I finish to the time I get home sometimes.
I could watch, and I just choose not to.
I don't care. The TV stinks, but the pay-per-views always blow me away. The pre-show. I'm sorry.
Did you see that they had 50,000 people at Wembley, and then reality sat in this past Wednesday where they barely had like under 2,000
Yeah, they had
people.
like 1,100. Yeah.
It's sad.
It's a shame. Their pay-per-views are great. I wouldn't be surprised if they start touring overseas and just try to capitalize on the overseas crowds.
That or just stay home base like they did the COVID.
Yeah.
Stay in Jacksonville.
Find a way. Give tickets away for like.
And do Chicago.
Just do your big markets. I think what's happening right now is
in a small venue though.
I bet you they booked these venues so long ago that they were hoping they would be able to fill them, and now they can't just do concert venues now because they already booked these basketball arenas.
Well, they got to pay Mercedes somehow. So
yeah. So the pre-show 16-man tag. I knew 1, 2,
Anthony Ogogo.
I knew two of these people. I knew
Christ.
Kyle Fletcher and
Jay
Jay Lethal. It's been 11 minutes.
I didn't even know this was on the rundown. I didn't see the Dark Zero, whatever it's called.
Yeah, I don't care too much.
Kip Sabian, I know. Rocky Romero, I know.
I know Fletcher.
Leo Rush, former WWE guy.
Andretti's the NASCAR driver, right? Darius Martin is and Dante are a tag team, right?
I never. Oh yeah. I forget what they call. They're a young crew. Anthony Ogogo, former boxer. Jay Lethal, obviously. Isaiah Cassidy is the primetime.
Younger brother of Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, that's him. John Silver, Alex Reynolds, the Dark Order.
11:53. That's bell to bell, right? Not entrance to bell.
I guess.
So
It has to be the match.
I
All
thought
these people, hell yeah.
I thought the next one should have been on the main card.
one?
Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii
Oh,
against Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway.
this was a match.
Yeah, it was a mixed tag, and the winners got to choose the. If Willow won,
Stipulation.
she got to choose the stipulation against Statlander.
How is this not on the fucking pay-per-view?
I like Statlander, and I thought this should have been the on the main card.
I'm a big fan of both. I like Willow.
Willow's good too. Yeah,
Statlander is great. Great presence.
Statlander is what I think they want Britt Baker to be.
Right.
Not
We'll get into that.
Not the dentist part, but the
Right.
the number one, just like kind of homegrown female.
Well, I think that's what happens when you have 75% of your time in your career, your profession, dentist, and then the other one's just wrestling.
Yeah, that's kind of an odd.
It
thing.
shows in the ring.
Look how it worked out for Isaac Yankum.
But I love this matchup. And who won? Willow won.
The good guys won. Yeah.
Good. Nice.
What's his name? Stokely did a what's it called? Did a spine buster though. It looked pretty cool.
Really? Arn
Stokely's
Anderson style?
hilarious. Stokely's great on Twitter. Yeah. And then we had a 10-man tag because everybody's got to get in. Everybody that flies there has to be on a show. A
Ironic.
couple Von Erichs, Sammy Guevara. I'm not even going to try that one. And Dustin Rhodes
Bottom.
beat a bunch of people I don't know. So Brian Cage, I feel like he was a guy, but I think this was a favor to the Von Erich family because wasn't there a death in the Von Erich family recently?
I believe so.
The Fritz
movie
or
came out.
somebody died, yeah. So 3 Von Erichs.
I'll tell you
and
this,
Dustin Rhodes, who, bless his heart, they beat
He's out there.
the cast of Sunday Night Heat.
Well, remember you showed me a picture that there's 2 teams in this match that cosplay the same character, Wolverine.
Oh, that's right. Wasn't that Guevara
Guevara and Brian Cage.
And Brian Cage, yeah. They both dressed up like the Wolverine.
Stupid.
It was like the Spider-Man meme.
What actually looked like Wolverine? 'Cause
Yeah,
he's
they
huge.
both looked. Yeah, the other one looked like a little midget. So on the main show, we
Right.
got a ladder match with no entrances. When the show started, these guys were just in the ring.
Yeah, I thought the feed was fucked up. The one that you sent
Yeah.
me.
No,
That's
these
a
guys.
strike, baby.
Oh, just like the playoffs. How about that? Yeah. So the guy, I guess the entrances would have taken too long. They had to cut time because there was 11 matches on here.
4 hours long. Right
Yeah.
on curfew.
So, I fucked up the formatting on here. Oh well. But yeah, Trios Championship. Pac, which is the stupidest name I've ever seen. Claudio Castagnoli, who you might recognize as Cesaro, and Wheeler Yuta, who you may remember from the Philadelphia Wolves.
Friend of the show.
I still have his money. Defeated Christian Cage, if you ask Nigel. Kill Switch. They keep jumping back and forth between that and Luchasaurus. They got to just pick a name.
They call him Kill Switch?
Yeah, that's what Cage calls him when he's part of the group. And Nick Wayne, and then also Juice Robinson, Austin Gunn, and Colton Gunn. I'm guessing those are Billy's kids.
Yeah.
And then the House of Black, the 3 people that date people in the other company. Malachi, who dates
Selena.
and then Brody King, who dates
I have no idea.
Cody Rhodes, and then Buddy Matthews,
What?
who's I don't know.
Rhea.
1850 on this match, bell to bell, for a trios ladder match that means nothing.
It felt like it. I watched here and there. 'Cause it was just, I didn't really care too much about it, but it was exciting for the parts I did see. It was action, and the finish was just lackluster at best.
I think the fans popped because they were just waiting for something to cheer.
Right.
I believe that was supposed to be Moxley's spot that Pac got, and now Moxley's back. But
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Pac's
though.
also from
Was he injured?
Moxley just came back yesterday. Yeah, I think he was out. Is Pac from London?
Probably Europe for sure.
Whatever.
I don't know exactly.
That was the only match I didn't see live. I watched enough of it to understand what happened. The next match was Mariah versus Tony Storm.
Let's talk about it.
That was probably the best story they had running into this outside of Danielson, but I enjoyed it. 15-15, and it felt like it was the perfect time. I was shocked when Mariah turned on Tony and it wasn't the inverse. Because Tony had been such a great heel.
To set up the story?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was...
Oh,
that is nuked.
I think he's got that. Nice.
9th inning, baby.
All right,
Who's our closer?
Who gets the 9th? Is it Esteves? It's got to be, right? Or Hoffman, I guess. They haven't shown anybody. This match I thought was appropriately in length.
It was perfectly orchestrated from the moment. Actually, before the turn, everything building up to Mariah May winning that Owen Hart Invitational.
You had a feeling that was going to lead to this eventually.
It was.
I thought this was the best story they did. Yeah,
and I barely watched the program. I don't know how much you did, but the little I did see, especially I did see the heel turn live.
Yeah, I watched that as it was happening as well.
Like, it's been good. When they met, they weren't fighting every week or every other week. Mm. They had space. Yeah. Had their individual promos. They would show up to each individual promo and beat the other up. It was a masterclass.
Her coming out with the heel, I thought was kind of cool. The shoe that she attacked her with,
one?
I thought it was cool.
And you could tell Tony when she came out, she looked like she didn't want to really be there in terms of like she's still brokenhearted that she still has to face her protege. Well, the other protege's like, I'm dead set. I don't like you. Yeah. I'm going to come after you.
Yeah, it
played out into the finish.
I enjoy it. And I don't even think you need a rematch. I think that's the perfect way to end it. Yeah. I think it's done. Yeah. You can figure something out. She can go be a different movie star.
That's probably another way to end that timeless Tony Storm gimmick. Come back, revamp yourself as something else.
Give her some time off. She can come back as like the Renegade or some crap. I don't know.
Right.
FTW title, which we both think is stupid. Hook defeating Chris Jericho. If Hook lost, he'd never be allowed to challenge Jericho for the title again. This, as it was happening, before it even happened, I was like, I wonder if Taz gets involved. Because this was the first match Taz was on commentary for.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, there's 3 of them. There's 1 of him. Taz is right there. They got to pop the crowd somehow. And then, boom, comes out, puts on a really bad Taz mission on the one of Jericho's buddies.
The crowd there popped, as you mentioned.
Big Bill going through that table. That thing exploded. The crowd went nuts. They did the heartbeat for Hook's music.
That was
the
awesome.
Taz thing, and the fans went nuts when they started to pick up on what was happening. I noticed when watching this, the fans didn't really see him get up off the desk, Taz, until the camera showed him, and I think they saw what we saw because when it showed Taz, you heard the crowd go nuts, and I thought it was the most appropriate finish to the match. I thought it was great. They nailed this.
This was a good one.
They nailed that.
It was a watchable Jericho match.
It was only 10 minutes, which is perfect, and it was full of weapons, and the story was pretty obvious. Jericho's bullying this kid, and then this kid overcomes it and wins the gimmick championship back.
Not only that, this kid outplayed him because he came out with one eye, like he gouged his eye. Yeah. He played off like he's with one eye, and then he takes off the bandage to reveal that, he can see with both eyes. Now it's a fair fight to some degree, even though it's 1-on-3.
Yeah. Tag titles, I really didn't like this match.
Oh, dude, this sucked.
The Bucks beat FTR and the Acclaimed. I thought this is, their first title defense since they won the belts like 3 months ago.
Since we last recorded?
Yeah, that was Dynasty. I think they won the belts. That's when Jack Perry came back. That was when they beat FTR in the ladder match.
I never liked when wrestlers in position of power have the belt for an extended period of time.
Well,
like that doesn't make sense.
The Jeff Jarrett reign of terror was not so great in TNA.
Hogan,
the Hogan stuff, the Triple H stuff. I don't like it either.
Slatwood.
He get that?
Oh, just missed the flower.
He might get hosed in a second if he's not careful. Okay. I also am not a huge fan of matches where you can tag in one of your opponents.
Oh, yeah.
In theory, shouldn't you try to just pin your partner? I think the Outlaws did that once in in '99. Billy Gunn pinned Road Dogg to win a match, and they retained. I mean, if you're the Bucks, why wouldn't you do that?
Heel turn.
Just say, hey, we're starting the match, and then they pin each other.
Or start that, and then you obviously have the babyface jump in. Like, we can.
I just don't see the point in tagging in one of your enemies.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
If you're going to do the 4 corners or the 3 corners, just have a legal man from each team at once. I know it get kind of convoluted that way, or just have it be tornado style. I think it's silly when you have like you're in the corner, you go, oh, tag me, and it's like, oh shit, you're not my partner. I also thought the hokiest part of this is when guys that were not teammates were doing the tag team move.
Finisher,
It'd be
whatever.
weird if you saw like, I don't know, Chuck Palumbo do the 3D. Like nobody wants to see that.
Right, I did see that. They did the Shattered Machine, the V trigger, and then something else probably.
Yeah, was it the EVP? Well, I guess it is the
V trigger.
EVP trigger, whatever.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah, that was stupid.
But the match was mid. And
I thought it was dumb they won. I don't understand why the Bucks won. Just put
That's
it
what
on
I'm
FTR should be the champs. Unless they're building to that, but how long are they going to feud?
They've been feuding since FTR got there.
All right, this next match, 26 minutes on the dot. Casino Gauntlet match, up to 21 entrants, 2 start. They said there's no
Let me see my notes.
set time for each entry, but people just come in. So it started with Orange Cassidy doing the Mr. Bean, which I thought was great, where he falls from the sky and then gets up.
Right.
Okada with him, and then the first entrant is Nigel McGuinness,
That place erupted.
which I don't know him by his
In the
music.
hands. In on the hands.
I don't know him by his music. That ball was in the dirt.
Oh,
And
cheeky.
what the fuck are you doing?
Marsh tried to be cheeky. No, he said he had a.
Oh, that's
Wow.
right. So that is Luke Williams.
He's animated.
So
Their base
McGuinness,
coach here.
Nigel McGuinness in story, his biggest opponent ever, Danielson, has a chance to win the belt at the end of the night. Nigel unretires for a small sliver of a chance that he can face Danielson for the belt because the winner of this match gets a title shot. And there's a chance that if Nigel wins, he gets to go fight Danielson, which I think is some of the
Oh, he
funniest
did block
storytelling.
it.
You can block it if you have the ball, though.
He didn't have the ball yet.
I guess not. So McGuinness coming out, popped the crowd. He also He almost swam around that.
That's gay. That's funny though.
Hilarious.
Mind you, before that, he got a kiss from Mariah May.
Yeah.
And he was stunned.
The funniest part, I don't know if you caught this, Taz on commentary is like, yeah, the color commentators are kicking some ass tonight.
He's great.
Another funny part is when he comes out, Taz goes, our broadcast colleague. It's like that meme of the old guy on Twitter.
Which one?
I don't know if I'm gonna find it, but
Don't worry about it.
it's like our broadcast. It's a guy that knows people for different reasons. It's like Jeffrey Epstein, the financier,
Hoffman.
but Taz going, yeah, our broadcast colleague. Kyle O'Reilly came out. I don't really care for him. Zack Sabre Jr. pretty cool. The G1 Climax guy. Him facing off with McGuinness matters. I don't understand why it matters, but it matters to them. So
I guess it's because guys from the same country. McGuinness
Yeah.
is a hometown guy there, so
I guess that's like the then and now kind of.
probably. McGuinness was an all-star in ROH.
Yeah,
from
he
what I
was
know.
he was one of the goats. Roderick Strong, who I love, crazy how he's still in great shape. Mark Briscoe, who looks like a homeless dog. He was kind of a non-factor. He broke up like one pin. Hangman Adam Page, who I thought should have won. I thought it would have made too much sense for him to win. Jeff Jarrett, who got the pop in the night outside of Nigel and Taz. We got the debut of
Double
Ricochet.
J. Oh, Ricochet. Zero aura.
Jeff Jarrett with Kurt Angle's ex-wife, by the way. And then we got Christian and Killswitch. So, and then Christian pinned Kyle O'Reilly. So the most inconsequential finish, although it does set up an interesting program with Christian and Danielson at some point, because Danielson's dad is dead, and that's Christian's whole thing. So,
Yeah.
and I would not be against a Christian run on top before he retires, but he's doing some of his best work.
Yeah, he's great. I didn't like him. I didn't appreciate him. He's just been doing
I
great.
appreciated when he went to TNA because he was the first guy to actually jump.
Yeah,
And
he was.
He became a star there, and then he went back and was still a star.
I've always looked at that as like a B league or like minor league. I just
Yeah.
never paid attention to it. Wish I did. He was
Yeah,
great.
04 to like 11, TNA is some of the best stuff you'll see.
Yeah, I never see anything of Kurt Angle, Perk Angle.
Oh,
Missed good times.
that was Kurt Angle's prime. You could argue.
You saw where he's
Sting.
like the clip of him
The flip.
flipping.
Yeah.
He's like, what did I do that for?
It's funny because it's like a super safe thing. It was only like 8 feet. Like it wasn't that long of a flip. It's just the running start and the flying start.
Running start was the craziest part. This man just like just run over it.
Next we have the American International Championship. Will Ospreay defeating MJF. Ospreay's entrance, I thought, if you don't count Danielson because of the severity of the moment, I thought his entrance was the best of the night. MJF, the fans sang his song that doesn't have words.
That was the funniest thing.
I loved it. They booed him heavily, and then they started singing his music.
I popped for that.
Yeah.
Better than you.
Ospreay on the ropes, pointing to each section of the crowd to chant his name was pretty awesome. Then the fireworks. Now, throughout the match, I could not take anything seriously because the streamers were hanging from the light fixture.
Yes. You mentioned that.
I thought
you
was
saw
so
it live.
funny.
It was awesome.
It looked like a children's birthday party because the streamers were just hanging from the
off the leg.
Is it Arcia? Yeah. The streamers. It also kind of made it look interesting because it's the American title, so I guess it was funny.
I love those shoes on Rojas.
Yeah, me too.
I need that.
The other thing is, as soon as the camera showed MJF, Shivani just goes, "Oh God." Like he absolutely detests him.
Shivani in the last year has just been let loose on commentary.
Yeah, him and Taz have great chemistry. And also, I thought the one thing this match didn't need that it had, I guess the story is that Daniel Garcia stole the ring, but I thought the match could have been fine without Daniel Garcia.
They just needed to progress MJF in the storyline with him somehow.
I think they could have had a trilogy with Ospreay, but they can maybe wait for that. They can do it another time.
Let it breathe.
Those two were signed forever for that company. They have plenty of time to build something. Yeah. I thought that they it felt like a big match. Like their Dynamite match that went an hour, I thought had a lot of dead time.
This past Wednesday?
Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago, I think.
Oh.
When MJF beat him, it like opened Dynamite. That's when the backstage thing with Britt happened. Where Britt was talking about. But
nonsense.
I thought this was a better match because it was paced better. It was 25:50, so it was half the time that the other one was.
Right.
And there were no commercials, so I thought watching MJF walk down the ramp and then seeing Ospreay in the ring, it almost they sold it like it was a big deal, and it was.
It was awesome. I
thought it was great. Everything they did was fluid. It all made sense. Nothing was stupid. Like
there was no interference. Like Daniel Garcia did come out, but he didn't touch MJF.
Yeah, well, he
kind of cost him the title.
I think he pushed him. Something happened. Maybe MJF just saw him. The only thing that was kind of silly was MJF doing the crossroads, but it's also at this point everything's just a move.
Well, that's his finisher.
Yeah,
it's one of his 3 finishers.
I think it's silly that it's one of. Yeah, I guess so.
The double cross they call it.
It's better than the punch with the ring on. So.
Oh, that's just corny.
And then
Christopher Daniels came out.
Yeah, Ospreay finally doing the Tiger Driver, which I think was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Dude,
you can count to 20. MJF wasn't getting
him saying I'm never going to do this again, and then Danielson being back up and moving around like 3 days later it kind of killed that whole story.
Right.
TBS title, Mercedes defeating Britt Baker, 17-25. Oof.
Brutal of the highest order.
Britt Baker sandbagged her 5 minutes in. This match sucked.
I love the word sandbag in wrestling.
I never knew what it meant.
It's hilarious.
My other favorite word is potato, where you hit somebody like a little bit harder than you're supposed to. Like anytime you watch.
So that's a receipt.
Well, anytime you watch Vince and Shane,
yeah.
Like in canon fighting, like they're potatoing each other, like they're hitting each other hard. Or like every Gunther match almost looks like they're getting potatoed left and right.
And Brock Lesnar too.
Oh no way! Merrifield's gonna be the final out.
Fuck you, Merrifield. As I wrote here, Moan versus Dentist.
Yeah.
Slop fest of the highest order.
Oh, yes he did.
No bueno.
Yeah, this match stunk. I didn't care for. I thought that it was cool that the fans are trying their best to sing the song for Monet, but I thought her entrance stunk. The corgis looking on cue were pretty cool though.
That was fun.
I did enjoy that. Ooh.
I don't know if you caught this, but the officiating in that match was just pure stupidity.
There was one Eddie Guerrero spot that I texted you about, and I thought was kind of cool. That I was watching on and off because I was doing laundry, and I was also what's it called? I was mopping because I wanted to be able to sit down for the final matches.
Right.
I forgot the casket match was even happening, but
right.
As I was watching, Britt did the thing with the chair where she threw it to whoever Mercedes was with, and she laid. I thought that was the one good thing she did the entire match.
Right. She sold it well.
Yeah, she did a good job.
She knows how to look for the camera, for the smile and the laugh.
She is a pro.
But that was one of the two things I was going to mention there. The officiating is dumb because let me see this final out.
He refuses to be the
Imagine
last
that's
out.
a tie game.
Yeah. This would be a massive win, by the way.
I understand. That is a good spot, but in storyline of the match, of the title match, if the referee turns around, sees that the person in the match is knocked out, and you put two and two together that interference title belt knocked her out, that would end in a disqualification.
You don't win the belt, right?
Britt wins,
Yeah.
but doesn't win the belt. I'm like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, that is true. Or if they're knocked out, Mercedes wins because the person's on the
Right.
ground can't.
Now,
Yeah.
the sequence before that, Britt had her. Oh, there it is.
It's trouble.
Sosa, baby.
Yeah, Sosa's pretty strong.
Oh, that was
Nice.
quick.
It's a good win.
Good win for the Phils. The sequence before that, Britt had her on the ropes, basically.
Coastal Dad.
Had her pinned, right? Referee has the line of sight of Camille on the outside.
Yeah.
You see Camille literally grab Mercedes' leg and pull it under the ropes, and then he's like, foot under the rope.
So
I'm like,
something that I
See the
appreciate.
interference, brother.
North Dakota State's up on Colorado, by the way.
oh, it's on.
20-14 right now.
Oh, no, it's on.
Coastal's up 30-3.
67 seconds.
My
4
boy
one.
Vasco 7 for 13, 147, a touchdown, interception too. But is my guy Washington not even playing the running back?
Tragic. Your boy's not even there.
Yeah, he is a sophomore. He was terrible where he played last year. Simpkins is the starter. I'm surprised by that.
This feud, though, it felt
So
it lacked a lot of storyline.
it's almost like they tried to make it a real life thing. In theory, it does make sense. Okay, you're the new big deal. I'm the first big deal.
But Britt comes out of nowhere and then instantly gets a title shot. It makes no sense.
Yeah, what's
With
Tony?
no- that's a
Whatever.
nice punt.
So the thing I do appreciate, I wish there's not much logic anymore because I think that there's not supposed to be. And we didn't talk about it, but SummerSlam Damian Priest match, he's looking up at the replay on the screen to see that Balor fucked him. The referee should be able to look at the screen and go, "Oh shit, that person has a chair. Or that person cheated and put this there." Like eventually, there's got to be some logic that goes into the end of these matches at one point.
Look at these comebacks. Yeah, this had potential to be Drew versus Punk-esque kind of caliber.
They could have dragged this out for months.
You
if
could
they
have
wanted
not
to.
had them touch for weeks, build it up, promo. Even though Mercedes can't do a promo to save her life,
Yeah, bad.
but Britt really can't wrestle because she's not in shape yet. Like sandbag and all that other stuff. You could have had something there, but we'll see where this goes. I mean, it looked like a clean finish in a way.
I thought it was fine.
Though.
It should be the end of it because if there's I don't know who's going to take the belt off of Monet, but at this point, I think I would be fine with her just becoming a dynasty and keeping the belt for a while until somebody can challenge her.
And the thing is, that's not even the main title.
I thought, although they are doing a good job of elevating, aside from Okada not defending his belt, I like that they're elevating the mid. Like Ospreay MJF made that belt feel almost as big as a world title.
Yeah.
And
I almost forget that it's not a world title.
yeah, now this one feels pretty important. The other one, Perry and Allen, the TNT title, which we'll transition to, that one also feels like a mid-card belt, but I think they do a good job of making it like the mid-card belt.
It is the mid-card, and it's the one that gets defended the most.
Is it like the TV title? Is that why? Because the Okada belt is useless at this point. He beat Roddy Strong
I
for
don't
it
even
for
know
no
what
reason.
that belt's called.
Or he beat Kingston. It's the
He just has a belt.
it's the Continental Breakfast Belt, as Jim Cornette calls it. That's the one Kingston won, and he had 3 belts at once. And then Okada beat Kingston on Dynamite, like a week after he turned heel. Coffin, yeah, the Coffin match got their time cut. They only had 10 minutes.
Bro, you didn't even mention this. You were like, "Oh, Mercedes is the co-main," and so when I got there, I'm like, "Thank God, I'm over this match."
I forgot this match was happening. I thought it was happening earlier.
Dude,
in
the
show.
graphic comes up. I'm like, "Huh?"
Yeah, but also the time, like it's the top of the hour. I'm like, they don't have enough time for this. And
By the way,
this
last
was-
thing on the Mercedes
yeah.
thing. After each match, they show a promo package for the next match coming up.
yeah,
That Mercedes Britt was the shortest video package of
there
the
was.
night.
It was just like you're a bitch, and then it was like, here's your entrance.
The only interaction was when they first were in the ring together, and then they had the stupid
Yeah.
little contract.
Well, that's because Britt got like suspended. I do like that they have a little bit of. I love that they do. Match ends. Here's the
They're
graphic
actually
for the
going
next
for
one.
it.
Here's
Colorado,
yeah.
real quick. Colorado was at their own 2 after a punt
Yeah.
with a minute and some change left.
Little screen pass to get a first down in the first play.
And now with 30 seconds, they got out of bounds, and they're, near midfield?
Yeah. The,
10 of 12, Sanders here.
200
Wow,
yards.
efficient.
20 yards per attempt. The other thing, I like that they go their pay-per-views feel like UFC pay-per-views where it's like, this ends, the next one's about to hit.
Right.
Like the match ends, the music's still playing. They go, and folks, next is this. It's like, okay, there's popcorn matches, but there's no popcorn breaks. It's not like backstage, like, hey, where's my hat? And then there's people running down the hallway and someone gets attacked. Like, or here's an interview. What are you gonna do? Like, I'm gonna win. Okay.
WWE would have had like 5 commercials
Yeah.
and talking heads in the back, and then the entrance.
I think these guys do pay-per-view better, whereas
Way better.
the TV's better in the other company.
If they
and
could
then-
just get along,
If they could figure it out.
figure it out.
World title, Danielson beating Swerve in 26 minutes even. This match, I really wasn't sure if Danielson was going to win.
Dude, Sanders got popped.
Until Danielson started getting his ass kicked, I thought there was no shot he was winning. And then once I realized he was getting his ass kicked, you knew he was going to win.
Right.
They weren't going to kill him in front of those fans. I was half expecting
And his family.
I was half expecting Christian to come out, which would have been so funny if he just like edged him and just like or Randy Ortoned him.
It was great. Look at this set right here.
Yeah, a little bit more theatrical than I expected it to be,
Uh-huh.
but I think it needed to be.
Yeah.
And I thought that I was texting with a friend of mine who I work with, and he's also. I told him this. I was like, "Oh shit, this is on." He's like, "When's MJF Osprey?" I was like, "It's in the ring now." He's like, okay. So from that point forward, he was watching.
Right.
I was texting him during this match, and it was about 10 minutes before the finish. I'm like, I wonder if he taps him, and that's how they get the fans to go nuts, because his finisher to a 3 count's not going to get the fans to go absurd.
Right.
If he puts him in like the Benoit move or whatever,
The LaBelle lock.
you start to get the anticipate, and then as soon as the tap happens, the fans go nuts, and then that's exactly what happened. So I thought Swerve did a really good job. He probably is better as a heel, although I thought he was great as the face champion. But him turning heel for the sake of this, I thought saved the feud, because otherwise there was no story.
For sure.
Because he
You have
beat
to play
the
into
crap out
better.
of Yuta on Dynamite or whatever, and then he kicked Danielson, and then he came out heel, and when he went over and made Danielson's daughter cry, and what's his name?
I have that in my notes.
Prince Nana started dancing. It was so funny.
That was awesome. And also in my notes, leading the week or the weeks leading up, that's a touchdown. Unbelievable.
They have a timeout. They do.
Unbelievable. They go
Jimmy Horn.
across the field in 1 minute and 5 seconds.
They used
2 seconds left.
2 timeouts.
2 timeouts. And it's first. They might go. They shouldn't go for 7.
I think you take the 3 here. If there were more time, you maybe go for the 7. They only got 2 seconds.
So what I'm saying is, he got hit too.
We got hit right as he threw that.
Birdie was like the butt of the joke, the meme.
Yeah.
Like, oh, if we riot, no, because the whole storyline is Daniel lost. It's because he wanted to be a father and all that
Yeah.
other shit. Birdie got a big pop when they showed her on camera. She was great.
Thought she was going to get booed.
Me too, but then it was the opposite. I was like, all right, cool. Nice moment with the family being shown. Dude, Danielson's entrance, thunderous.
A little flat for most of it. But I think that's because they were building to the chorus of the song.
The final. Well, he was building it. He was just like, come on, people, let's go.
I think that was him going, all right, this needs to be. I thought Swerve's entrance was good. So another thing
It made it feel like a big-time main event.
Yeah.
Storyline, main event, all that jazz.
I don't have notes physically, but one of the things I do think they did a great job of is they made all of their stars look like stars with the entrances. I thought Ospreay's entrance was incredible. I thought MJF's entrance was perfect. I thought both of their entrances for this were great. Even though Monet's was kind of shit, I thought, they made her seem like a big deal.
Right.
Darby kind of felt like a big deal with his. Sting, we didn't even talk about Sting.
Oh,
Sting's
Jesus.
entrance, he felt like the biggest deal on the planet. Like, that was their Undertaker moment.
Dude, the lights went out. I'm like, who is coming in?
It had to be Sting. I figured they're not going to kill Darby. I thought Darby was going to win because he's undefeated in casket matches, and I'm surprised they
Perry
beat
just
him.
got the belt, though.
Perry doesn't matter to me.
Dude, when he got the bag of chopped
The
glass,
glass. Oh,
and they started chanting "fuck CM Punk."
They just can't be serious ever. The Bucks, their entrance felt pretty big, like a big deal. FTR's entrance, I felt like the music didn't hit loudly enough, but they made Hook and Jericho seem important. Like, they made every entrance seem
Tony
important.
Storm was pretty nice.
Storm, yeah.
Mariah May was okay, but like she had the heel, like as you mentioned, made a big deal.
Even Ricochet's entrance was cool. The only ones that were kind of flat were Christian because he was rushing, And then Luchasaurus because he was trying to to help Christian. And they got to stop building this Christian Lucha thing. Like it almost feels like Gable and Otis at this point. Like they missed their chance to do it.
Hopefully it's not the same because we still don't got a payoff for that. They just kind of just went their own way.
Another thing that's bothering me, they're still doing the Hook Jericho thing after that. Like they were in a 10-man tag yesterday on Dynamite.
No way.
Which makes no sense. Yeah, I hated it.
Is it the same thing as WWE where whatever happened on Saturday, they just put it on Monday Night Raw with a little wrinkle on it?
I guess, yeah.
In case you didn't see the pay-per-view, here it is on TV.
I didn't see much of Dynamite. I saw a little bit of the tag, and then I think we turned it off.
Good.
We put on I think the Dodgers played last night. We were watching that.
The decoy?
Man, they can't lose this game. If they lose to North Dakota State, they're going to be the butt of every joke.
At home?
I saw somebody, I think it was either Travis or Shador, said, we're every team's Super Bowl on the schedule this year. And somebody replied and was like, congratulations to the Super Bowl winning blah, 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 like Oregon, Kansas State, like all these different teams that beat them last year.
Nice. You also mentioned there was a curfew in London?
Yeah, so apparently there's a curfew in London, so they had to get this thing off the air by 10.
Because the ending felt rushed.
Yeah, the ending felt, although they did give it plenty of time. It almost felt kind of like Cody Roman, where it felt like, okay, that ended sooner than it should have, but they had plenty of time to do it. They had to cut Darby and Jack. Their time got cut almost in half, it seems. I can probably point to the match that went over.
It felt appropriate, though, because I watched it. I enjoyed it. But, dude, Darby got thrown around like a government mule.
Those two don't need a 25-minute match. Neither of them are any good at anything. Darby's entrance was kind of cool, and the fans love him. So I was very much blown away by that. I think Ospreay MJF was probably my favorite bell-to-bell. Yeah. Although the Danielson Swerve thing. Swerve is awesome. I hope he gets another chance to be
He's underappreciated.
The guy. He just signed a contract, too. He just re-upped.
Well, they got we also... Good catch. We also didn't mention that...
Capping us at 2 here, it seems.
Yeah, right. We also didn't mention that Hangman Page came out toward the end of that match.
That's right. Yeah, I was hoping no Gaga happened in that match, and I'm glad that it wasn't too much of like a dirty finish, but it's enough that Swerve can be like, hey, I didn't really lose. Like,
yeah, but they had their own little trilogy as well, so it looks like that storyline's getting back on track.
I don't think they need a belt for that either.
Nah.
Danielson's story can just be now every pay-per-view it's career versus title basically. Like I could lose and retire. And he came out last night and said I will not retire with the belt. So his next loss basically is him retiring.
I need Omega to come back.
Yeah, Omega feels like the guy that could do it.
Omega MJF would be nice.
I wonder who it would be that would retire Danielson. I mean, Nigel would be pretty funny.
Nigel would be hilarious.
It's just me, Jericho.
Just bring back Nigel. Just like, give me another gauntlet match. Yeah. Give me.
Christian would be cool because they're both around the same age, but I don't think they're the same level of stardom. And Christian doesn't need a belt to be him.
But he got that guaranteed shot now.
It's going to be Copeland because he has to beat everybody.
Gross.
I think they should use this to build a star. Or they could even do
who knows?
I mean, Samoa Joe's believable, but now they kind of book themselves into a corner where it's, okay, we need you, so we're going to keep keeping the belt on you. But
right.
I think it'll be a pretty quick reign. I think he'll be done by, like, December.
That's a perfect way. Start the new year somewhere else.
Yeah, start something else.
And he can retire probably in peace by Christmas or New Year's.
Yeah, or even, Okada wouldn't be believable, but somebody high and someone who's a big deal.
Okada would be nice if you can get rid of that gimmick.
He's not a comedy guy. I'm glad they brought in Ospreay as a face because you can't do all that flippy shit and be a bad guy.
MJF going back for the title. Ooh,
MJF would be cool. He's got unfinished business with Adam Cole if he's ever healthy again.
By the way, as we're watching some highlights here of college football, is Saturday the first big Saturday? Or was it last Saturday?
This weekend's a little bit more important. Last weekend, there was not much happening. This weekend, you got more stuff.
I got a text like, hey, what are you doing for Labor Day? I was like, dude, I'm going to sit home after work and enjoy college football for the first time in my life. Yeah. Thanks to this video game.
It's
I'm going to be all over.
All right. Do you have any W's or L's? This feels like a nice return.
They really want us off the air.
Yeah, I'm struggling to come up with one.
I'll make it quick.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find them.
My only L is going to be Jerry Jones publicly kind of crapping on his guy and then giving him a contract.
Right.
My other L is actually the 49ers, who now are about $50 million over the salary cap next year.
Oh, because of the
And
Ayuk,
that's without a Purdy deal in place, too.
who's underpaid probably at this point.
Yeah. So,
All right. I
we'll
have
see. I forgot.
2 dubs, 3 losses. Taiwan Walker, as I mentioned at the top of the show, abysmal outing. He should not be a starter anymore. Should be in the bullpen or just DFA him at this point. He's done. He's cooked. Ironically, he had a great season last year. Didn't make a playoff run at all. He was just sitting up there at the front, the top step, just with the seeds. Don't get it.
Does seem like a nice guy. It seems like a decent teammate, but
He's the one Met that burned us because I thought Wheeler was going to be bad, but he turned out to be great.
the Wheeler was a big gamble and it paid off.
What was that? Tippy toeing. All right. What was that? What happened here? All right. Second one, Monet's CAO dance and gimmick thing.
Ugh.
That was gross of the highest order. And I did
can't-
see a clip of.
She's got to do something different.
Right. It's the Sasha Banks gimmick all over again. But I did see a clip on Wednesday's thing where one dude literally brought up the divorce on TV. And then Okada comes up nowhere like a protector. And then they did the CEO dance. He's like, CEO. She's the only one saying it, by the
So
way.
silly.
Stupid. And then the third one is Zach Taylor,
Wow.
coach for the Cincinnati Bengals, with his foot in his mouth. Earlier in the week, he said Jamar Chase will be ready for week 1. Had to eat his words and walk it back when Jamar Chase came into practice in street clothes, basically saying, "I'm not playing until I get another contract." And he said, "Well, he's not quite ready, and I might have put my foot in my mouth. Well, we'll see. It's a developing thing."
Did he return to practice? Did you see the score for that one game, by the way? It's 56-0 at halftime. Arkansas versus whatever team they're playing.
Well, it's going to be Temple versus Oklahoma, right?
Yeah, Ty, that game's going to be bad.
And then my two wins, AEW All In,
Yeah.
tremendous success, highest praises we just talked about.
My guy, Grayson McCall.
Dude on the right?
Former coach. No, he was. They had his that score.
Well, who's this big old dude that you?
NC State's up 17-14. Grayson McCall, former Coastal quarterback.
Your boy.
Do like him.
Yeah, that's a nice fetch.
There's a lot of North Dakota State fans there.
I mean, it's their Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I think they got tickets.
Kind of is their Super
Guaranteed.
Bowl.
And my last W is, as I mentioned, I think at some point early, the WNBA, Caitlin Clark, sensational. Fever, 7th seed, beat the number 2 seed in the league after getting destroyed all season by them. She breaks the rookie 3-point season record. And what else?
She also shattered the assist record this season, didn't she? Yeah.
That too. And
For not even just rookies, just players. I think she broke it
She's
in like a
sensational.
month into the season.
she's sensational, dude. And then the Fever are now 12-6. They've been 12-6 since June 10th. They are currently 15-16, which is bad, but they're the 7th seed. But last year they were 13-27.
Yeah, so they've already passed it.
they're
Eventually,
great.
they're going to get. I know
With
half the
9
league.
games remaining, by the way.
I know half the league hates him, but eventually, people are going to flock to Indiana to play with him. So, I think eventually that team will figure things out.
Oh, they have been. They've been steamrolling teams now.
The good thing about Clark too is he passes the ball, and when you have a distributor who's not ball dominant,
Right.
it's easier to get players that want to go there and play with him because he's not going to hog the ball the whole game.
And he's pretty good from 3-point land.
Yeah,
But, yeah, Caitlin Clark, he, she, whatever you want to call it. They, with all due respect, sensational player. And good for the Fever. Good for their WNBA.
It's good for the league.
And that's it. I think that's all I got.
That's all I got.
All right, perfect.
I'm out of bad takes.
Psh, this has been episode 150. We're back in person, new, I guess, studio-ish. It's a work in progress. We might not even be here next week. It might be online, might be across the hallway.
How's that
upstairs.
fair? How is Utah able to play against Southern Utah? You got the whole state against just a little portion of the state. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Who knows? Look at that on the right. Temple at Oklahoma. They're making it known.
What was it,
-35.5? I don't know, but it's Friday, 7 p.m. A murder's going to happen.
Oh, baby. I got a draft tomorrow night. We have our draft tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, actually.
Is it at 7 now?
It's either 7 or 8. I don't know.
It's 8 o'clock.
Okay, whatever time it is.
I'll be potting. Remember, the Not Too Nerdy Wrestling Podcast. I'll put it on the Instagram, on the link to that podcast.
I'll be listening.
And I'll be doing my draft me and my coworker will be making my picks for our draft.
Oh, I gotta listen.
Live.
I gotta listen. Yeah, I gotta. So
you're calling me in?
I can either call or text you. If you're recording, I'll text you. Temple is a 42.5-point dog tomorrow night. That's going to be on every TV at Chickies and Pete's.
Smack the over.
There it is, right at the bottom of the screen there.
Perfect.
But yeah, we'll next week maybe we'll do. Well, we definitely have to do our week 1 predictions.
And we got to recap this draft.
We got to recap the draft, and we'll do our best to 99% chance of winning.
Oh, and next week, first game of the season.
Football's back, yeah.
And then Friday, Eagles.
Eagles are back Friday, and then the weekend starts, and we're kind of off and running. So
tremendous.
That's where we stand.
Well, Rob, we're back. I think we hit just over the 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
I think this will probably be the longest podcast of the new season, the new era, as you called it.
It'll be just like the first one we did.
We have another hour to go then, if that's the case.
Oof.
That was crazy.
We cut one in half.
Well, all right, guys. Again, PA_TurnPod Instagram. Hit the link. You'll see our socials, where to find the podcast. Either subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, where you see this, or if you're listening, you can find it there. You can watch the clips. We'll throw it on our individual TikToks until we make one, Facebook, all that good stuff. And again, I'll be back tomorrow, Friday. If you listen to this, I'll be later today, recording with my co-host Carlos for the Not Too Nerdy Wrestling Podcast. What a mouthful. I think I'm done talking.
And the guy on ESPN kind of looks like Chris Christie, which is pretty funny.
That's hilarious.
Look at him.
That is Chris
He looks like a used car salesman. All right. Yeah, everybody, we thank you all for listening. We're back and stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not very good at that. I'm better at opening than I am closing, so thanks.
All right, guys. See you.
See ya!